Dominique,
Hello, Trent. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing on this good Thursday?
A very good Thursday. A very good Thursday. I am doing well. Oh, it's been a busy weekend. It's been quite a week.
Mm.
It's been quite a week in the world. How has your week been?
Listen, y'all had me so fucked up last night on Point of
We
View.
no 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 no
Y'all,
no 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 no. We
who who was it?
you you
Oh,
had yourself so fucked up last night.
listen,
And okay,
I said, my God. When I went and laid down and woke up this morning, I was like, what the fuck happened to me? I was fucked.
and what
Why you let me? Why you
and,
let me?
and,
Dominique,
and,
why you
and
let me?
what was the culprit? What was
I
what
had a
was part of this? Huh?
I had a friend of mine's come over last night, Marcus Douglas, Keyshawn, aka Keyshawn, and said, "Come on, bitch, I'm gonna smoke with you real quick." I said, "Okay." One blunt went down. That went okay. The bitch lightened up another one. Two blunts go down. I said, "That's cool." I said, "I'm gonna go get ready for the show." She said, "Well, bitch, I got one more. Why don't you just come on?" I said, "Okay, all right." That third blunt took me out of here. It took me out of here, girl. And it was a pre-roll. Those pre-rolls be tough.
So okay, so for somebody that does not smoke, what does that mean? What is
I,
some what does a pre-roll mean?
well, a
Something that you
pre-roll.
bought or
It's
something
yeah.
that you do?
It's something that come from the dispensary that's
Okay,
already
gotcha. See,
rolled up and it's already got whatever it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying?
do you know what milligram it was? I know that y'all talk about don't y'all talk about milligrams, the strength of it,
Baby,
and all of that stuff.
I don't know the milligram. I don't know a thing. But
And so last night you
uh-huh.
were on
And then I went and fixed me
3000.
I went to fix me a cocktail. I went and got me some crown apple and I mixed it with some juice and a little taste of Sprite. And I mean, man, I can't do that no more.
You were in another universe last night. Let me tell you. And I could tell, and I thought Monica was in the room because I kept saying, Monica, don't give him no more, please, so that he'll have more. Because you,
No,
it was, yeah. Go
no, and
ahead.
she was like, "Why are you that loud? Why are you screaming at that computer like this?" She said, "You are crazy, boy." And I said, "Grandma's been like really, really off the chain." But listen, it's all good fun. Whatever I said, I said it. I can't take it back. I won't take it back. You know, it is what it is. It's out there for human consumption. Let's go with it. Let's go with it. Let's go
But we,
with
but
it.
we, but we just won't do that no more.
No, it was a little rough. I was like
Ooh.
Tina when Ike was trying to make her sing, and the lady said, "What you mean rougher? What you
Jennifer
mean
Lewis.
rougher?" Yeah,
Oh
you
yeah.
gotta you gotta screaming like a man. Wait a minute,
Oh
I
yeah.
gotta put
Because
some.
you kept singing Negro spirituals all night.
Not Negro spirituals.
You kept you kept you kept giving renditions of Negro spirituals throughout the night. And I was just like, this man, and I wanted to cut my camera off and call you and hope that you would pick up and be like, nigga, stop all this acting up you doing. I just
and
could not
y'all
bring myself to do it.
and and y'all Dominique hit me up and she said, "Listen, Dominique got in my shit today." She said, "Don't do that shit tonight. Don't come in here with that. Come here with your mind stayed on the Lord." And let's get through this interview. Hey, Denasia. Hey, Vernon. Hey, Amelia Black. But yeah,
Hey Amelia.
you know, yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
I
it
don't know.
was you were quite the one. But he's not quite the one tonight. I mean, he's still gonna be Trent. I mean, that's always there. He was just Trent amplified.
so
100.
last last week we aired an interview with hey Felicia, hey Tamika X. We
Hey,
um we
Tamika.
we aired an interview with Cheyenne Valentino to
Mm-hmm.
talk about her experience and her grievances with Continental. It took a
Damn it, yeah.
um
Mm-hmm.
Dominique didn't do that interview with me because Dominique was still at work. And she was like, go ahead and get the interview. I trust you to do the interview. Go ahead. I said, are you sure? She was like, yes. Okay. So we do the interview. We drop the interview. This thing goes off for an entire week. And it just grew legs. And it just went over to other people's shows. People started posting about it. Cheyenne had all the time in the world because, baby, let me tell you something. She answered everybody that was
She
anybody
did.
that had anything to say. She was not scared of it. She had time. She had more time than they make. Okay. Um, then
Okay, go ahead.
no, I want to know your take on it. Like,
No, I was
was you,
just about to say it did take a life of its own, and with anything that you do, if you put it out there in the public, everybody, as they always do, they're going to have an opinion, whether it's to the affirmative or if it's to the negative.
mm-hmm,
And but anytime that you tell your story, you almost have to be prepared for people to who not to agree. And she got a lot of support, and then of course she got a lot of on the negative side too. People say, well, why didn't you say something back then? And you're just doing this because you're mad, but for whatever reason, you know, she wanted to say how she felt, and
mm-hmm,
she had the right to, say what it is that she felt that she had experienced. But the only thing that I would have just told her that, hey, you said what you had to say. You don't have to respond to anybody. You said your
mm-hmm,
piece. Your piece was said. You don't have to stand say it to anybody. Just stand on whatever that is, and if that's your truth, let that be it. People are going to go back and forth with you, especially if they disagree. Just let it be, because then it then takes something else out of you, right? It takes out, you have now, not only are you, you're on this journey to what you're saying is your truth, but now you're having to defend whatever you're saying that truth is to people.
mm-hmm.
And you shouldn't have to do that. If you said what you did and that's how you feel, and let that be that. And and if I were to give my sister any advice, just let everybody have their opinion, and and you don't have to feel that you have to defend uh,
Mm-hmm.
what you said, because you felt how you felt, and right, wrong, or indifference. That was your experience, and let's just leave it at that, because you're gonna forever be trying to defend yourself against people, because some
I
people
agree.
even because there are some people that are going to just to get you riled up. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And at
Yeah.
this point, once her statements have been made, now people, and now it's time for her just to move on. She's got her own system coming on, and all that stuff. Focus on that. And then now people are, I think, are just trying to keep it alive because they want to be entertained. And don't be nobody's entertainment. Just go ahead and move on. You said what you said. That's how you feel. You don't have to go and do any more back and forth. Concentrate on Supreme and make that the greatest that it can be. That's how I feel about it.
That's great advice. I just That's great advice. Shout out to Tatiana Braxton. I enjoyed your interview with Trinity
Absolutely,
Toucher.
Tati.
Yeah. And I
Let
love
me tell you something. Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go ahead.
Tatiana and I judged because I had never met Tatiana in person ever
Uh-huh.
until the year that we judged. Oh, hey, Miss Ursula. That's the Ursula that I just saw.
Uh-huh.
Look at cute girl. Look at cute girl. So I had never met Tatiana in person, and I don't fan girl over nobody. That's just
Okay.
not my judge. But I do when but I'm gonna tell you what I do fan girl or fan man over is people who are intelligent, who
Mm-hmm.
are doing great things in their life. And I knew that all of the work that Tatiana had been doing in her life since she left the stage. And so I just felt it was such an honor just to be there with her and to get to talk to her. So fun, so friendly. We sat next to each other, and we said some things back and forth with each other. And there are people in this community. Let me tell y'all something. Put on these pedestals, and when you're saying, "Oh, this person is an icon," let it be more than just what they look like and
Right.
what you know about them on stage. What else is there about them that make them iconic or make them such great people?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, Tatiana is one of those people. Not only was she iconic on the stage, but the things that she's doing off the stage. And I love her honesty and her transparency about her past. That's even more iconic when people try to, live behind the filter and only
Mm-hmm.
want you to see this image, from pictures and on stage. She's
Yes.
authentically herself. And I think that's to be celebrated. So when you talk about icons, what else is there other than their entertainment value that make them iconic?
Yeah, and she's definitely putting the work in the community. Kudos to Tatiana Braxton. I enjoy her car chronicles when she in her car talking, and
Hmm.
the camera is like sitting to the side of her. I actually feel like I'd be in the car with her, talking to her, riding with her wherever she's going. So I love that. So keep doing that. I first saw Tatiana when she did Black America. I think it was '99 when Yasmin Kamastar was giving it up. You
Hmm.
know, kind of clothes that girl was putting on stage back in the late '90s, early 2000. Everything that she wore can be worn now and win a pageant.
Absolutely.
I feel like she was way ahead of her time. It was just she listen, amazing. Keep doing work. We love that. Tatiana, keep doing your thing. We watching. We always watching. Hey Tasha Long.
Yeah. Hey, oh, hey, Tasha. Hey, Ava's here.
Ava Fox. Hey Ava.
Yes, she's from here in Columbus, Ohio. Well, not I call her new because she's younger than me and she's
Mm-hmm.
fresher than me. But yeah, she's getting ready to go to a big contest here in Ohio, and so good luck to her.
Mm-hmm. Good
So
luck,
so
Ava.
so now, as we speak about
Keep talking. I'm finna move my
piggybacking.
stuff around. I'm finna move my thing around so I can get better. I feel like my connection is so low. I'm
Okay,
gonna go move on the
okay.
other side of the table, but keep talking. Don't stop.
Okay, so as we speak about Cheyenne and Cheyenne talking about everything that she experienced, how often do you think and this, and we can just make this a people in the comments can comment, how often do you think it is that people are in situations as it relates to pageantry or dealing with promoters, that they're in situations that are just not really great experiences, but they want to be a part of it so badly, they just go ahead and just deal with whatever, even if they feel that what they're dealing with or what they see happening is not right. How often do y'all think that happens? And then if that is the case, do you think they're doing themselves a disservice by doing that? I would like to hear what you all think about that. Hey Anthony, how are you? Tasha, Tatiana, would love to hear your thoughts about, do you think that sometimes we tolerate things because we want to be a part of it so badly? Okay, she said, I believe there's always room to grow and be better from my experiences competing and being backstage. And did you and were you did you see things in your experiences, Miss Valentino? Do you believe, did you stay and did you continue to compete in that situation, or did you say, you know what, I don't think that is for? And Diamante is saying, I believe it's a lot, just doing it to belong. And what do you think the long term effects of it is, are? You've stayed, you've endured, and you've promoted, and you've involved yourself in all of that. What were the effects for you? What did it do to you? Because we see people that want to be a part of something so bad that it just aches them and it pains them, and even though they know they're being mistreated or being pushed to the side, but yet they keep going back and competing year after year after year after year. And I think sometimes they know deep inside they're never gonna get it, but I think that sometimes that they
Wait a
just
minute. Do
think
you think
maybe.
that people? Do you think people really go to pageants not thinking that they really don't have a chance, but they still go?
Yeah, oh yeah, hold on a second. I think it happens often and it ends up being compounded trauma. I agree with you, Amelia. And it's something we carry with us. Yes, I do, because I think that they feel that if I keep going, maybe they will finally see me.
Mm,
I
mm.
think that they think, well, maybe I'm going to be so good that they cannot deny me. But because have you ever seen any? And I'm not saying anything. We don't have to name any contests. We don't have to talk about any pageantry.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, any particular pageant, any particular situation. But have you seen a contest where I mean, all no partiality to it at all, where you were watching it, from an impartial place, and you said, "There is no way this person did not win. There is no way
Mm-hmm.
on God's green old earth." And I'm talking about somebody that you probably wasn't even supporting. I'm asking you, did
Mm-hmm.
you just watch the and you said, that just did not happen? I'm convinced that this is not the way it should have gone. Have you?
I've absolutely seen that numerous amounts of times, more times than I can even care to talk about. But at the same time, this I don't think this industry is made for the weak, because you can prepare everything you have in every capacity that you have, and you still just may not win. Like we talked about, I don't know when we talked about this, but we talked about politics and pageants. They used to call it politricking back in the day. Like, you got to go
Mm-hmm.
politrick. You got to go out to events and stuff, and you got to be dolled up. You got to show them that you know how to tip out. You got to show them that you know how to reign. When you get on stage to perform, whenever you perform, you have to make sure you're extra done, because they want to see it. And when they see girls like that, those are the girls that they naturally navigate towards, because they feel like
Mm-hmm.
these are the people who can take the title, not knowing sometimes they're going to miss out on somebody that could have been even better for the system. And
Mm-hmm.
here's the thing that I don't think people understand.
Go
Bitter,
ahead.
bitterness is a natural emotion that we all have sometimes. There are things in life that have shook us to our core, that has made us bitter. And when people say, "Oh, you just bitter," they feel like that's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to
Mm-hmm.
be in bitterness. It's a bad thing to stay
Mm-hmm.
there too long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm. I
you
do.
you 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 got to heal it. You got to get past it so that you can get over it. We can't tell people how to heal it. We can't tell people what to do, how to feel, or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Some people are a little more abrasive than others. Some people can go home and self-deflect and beat themselves up in private. Some people go to a platform. You know, back in the day, we didn't have this to go to. We had Carrie Fairfield, but
Yeah.
now we have people who can actually push the live button and go on and talk about how they feel. You know,
Right.
pageantry has that propensity to make you feel that way. I felt bitter for my girl, because I was
Yeah.
like, why the fuck my girl can't get it and everybody else can get it? What this bitch got that she ain't got? You know what I'm saying? Why y'all didn't throw in the extra point for her like y'all threw in the extra point for her? It makes you do all of this stuff. It makes you question yourself, because, like I said, although people like to say this ain't real life, but it is, because sometimes this is all people got.
Mm-hmm.
You
and,
know,
and
and then
you're dealing with real people,
you're
and
dealing with real people.
you're dealing with real emotions, and people who have spent everything that they had. I mean, whether it was their decision or not, they spent
Yeah,
everything they had, knowing that they may not be able to pay their rent once they came back home if they did not come back
uh,
victorious. And people, people invest a lot in order to win, whatever it is. But we're talking about pageantry here, But people do that in order to win pageantry. We were talking about this yesterday, that we knew people who had mortgaged their homes so that they could, pay for a stellar package, but then didn't even come back victorious after you did all of that. And so that parlays into my question that, what is the real takeaway? When you finally become a part, let's talk about the people that get it, right? And this is a real conversation that I would love to have. You get the friendships or whatever the case may be, but after you've done all of this, of course, you got bookings because you were missed this or missed that or Mr. this or Mr. that. But now talking about real life experiences that you've invested all of these expenses that when you really think about it, you probably could have bought you a house, bought you a car, probably had money in your retirement and all of that stuff. What, at the end of the day, what was the real takeaway? And this question is more so for people that this is world that, this is what they do, this is what they focus on they're entertainers for a living. It would just be really interesting to have a conversation to ask people all that you invested, in particularly the ones that competed 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and you spent let's say $10,000 every time you competed, and you finally get it, and you have your year, 365 days, and it took you 365 times 10 to win, finally get there. What takeaway once it's yours? Because we know with real girl pageants, that parlays into jobs on the news, TV shows, and so they really build a major career, life-sustaining careers, off of this. So it would be really interesting just to talk to some people to ask them what was the real takeaway once it was yours.
and I'm gonna tell you something too. I look at Giselle Barbie sometimes, and I say, well, she don't want all the big stuff. She don't even need to do pageants no more. You know what I'm saying? Why does she keep doing pageants? I used to have this in my head. And then as I watched her at Miss Texas, it was so clear to me, and I can't speak for her, but this is just what I got from it. I saw legacy. You know what I'm saying? When she will go down in history as the girl who damn near won them all, if not the girl who, or she's on her way to win it all. For her legacy, her family legacy, her gay family, her ballroom family, everything, they will be talking about her for years like they talked about those girls on Paris is Burning. We still talk about the was it Octavia St. Laurent or whatever her name is? We still talk about her today. And I believe that on down the line, she lived this beautiful life. And if something happened to her, I think that she will always have this huge legacy to leave behind. I think a lot of people are more concerned with the legacy than what is taken from them. You know what I'm saying? Like Nicole is saying, for some of us, it's our way. It's a way of life. I absolutely agree with that. And I came into that term when I saw it. And when I see people even like Nicole who can still get on stage and command the crowd, you know what I'm saying? I imagine that it really feels good to stand in front of people and still be able to entertain them and move them in any type of way. You know what I'm saying?
Because I mean, go ahead, babe. I'm sorry.
Because a lot of people talk about, well, you should have bought a house. I know people have bought homes and it ain't always cracked up to be to them. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of maintenance. There's a lot of upkeep. It's a lot of, cutting your own grass and stuff like that. So if that's not what you truly want, some people want to go around the city from state to state and showing off what they do. And I understand that too.
Right. You understand it too. Which would be one of the answers, that it allowed me to have the career that I may not have had otherwise had I not had this on my resume. So, so it's not so the question is not so much to say, it's not worth it, but it'll be interesting to see what was the benefit for you. You've got
Yeah.
this, what was your benefit? And as we see in the comments, a lot of people have a lot of different things. Um, people are benefiting from it in many different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I love a good pageant. I love that girls still love to do pageants. I wish you get back to some of the stuff that like it used to be. But another thing interesting that's interesting is that I would like to talk to somebody who's amassed a lot of titles, right? I would
Hmm.
like to know how they feel in this part of their life because one thing I hate about pageantry is it takes away from people's um, responsibilities, right? Sometimes people rather do a pageant than get an automobile. Some people may forego things that they really need in life so that they can be a part of a system. You know what I'm saying? I would like to know the thinking behind that too.
Yeah.
I would like to talk about that. And that's what we mean when we say go beyond the filter. Like, you can get on
Correct.
camera and act like you that bitch, and you can act like you got it going on. Yeah, but is lifing? Is
Yeah.
lifing? You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure that you can do this stuff comfortably. We could talk about pageants all day, but
All day
um,
long.
all day long, right? But we got a pageant coming up this Sunday, right? This Saturday and Sunday. Hold on, we find this flight
Okay.
because I'm a former of this system. Don't act like I ain't
Are
never won.
you?
Don't act like I ain't never won no pageant before, Dominique. Don't act like
I
I
had
ain't
not.
never won
I did not
no
know.
pageant before. Okay,
I did not know
Black
anything
Continent.
about your pageantry career.
But I
I
was a
never
newcomer.
heard about it.
I I didn't
Okay.
go past. I didn't go past newcomer. I was Black Continental newcomer. I didn't go past newcomer. It was just like I
Okay.
started doing people and makeup and stuff, and so I was back. I was in the backstage so much that I didn't really have time for being on stage. Right. Black
Hmm.
Continental is this Saturday and Sunday. Black Continental Classic Saturday, September the 13th. Mr. and Miss September the 14th. If y'all need to get in touch with somebody, if you want more information about the pageant, you get in touch with P. Jasmine Darnell or anybody with the Black Continental family, and they will point you in the right direction. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Also, we got coming up, and I love that if you see anybody like arguing in comments and stuff, or the page getting lit, here come Trinity Black, Miss Duval Plus. When is it?
Yes. It is. Oh, the comments are hiding the day.
Let me take
It's
the
in
comment.
September. Can you take that down?
Yeah.
September the 21st, 2025. Please be sure to go support Duval. We always hear about how wonderful promoters Rick and Marissa are. Please,
Yeah.
now, those we want to continue to support these people that we know that are doing the great work and that are having great contests, and people are saying that they're having amazing experiences. Go down if you have the opportunity. I think it's in Jacksonville. Is that correct?
It's in Jacksonville, Florida.
In Jacksonville, Florida. Go down and support Duval. There's some amazing entertainers competing. And then, of course, Trinity Black has done a wonderful job as the reigning
Fantastic
Miss
job.
Duval. Plus, go down there and support Trinity and Duval Pageantry and all the performers that will be in attendance.
And if you need any information, inbox Trinity. She's always available to speak to you about whatever you need. People that's competing, anything, reach out to her. And she's doing a fantabulous job as the reigning queen. She take her reigning very serious. I like that about her. She
She
go out
does.
and she gets to the people. And she's also the reigning Miss Peoples at large. I don't know. It's Miss Peoples, the People's Queen. And
The People's Club.
she's doing this campaign. Can you talk about that, Dominique?
Don't try to distract me when I'm on
Oh,
stage,
oh,
so you
oh,
can get what you want.
oh. Dominique, I can still hear you. Trinity is having the People's National Grand Madame Wear Purple Day. It's September the 30th. It's for the Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. If you have a story about suicide and you want to share your story that'll help somebody else, reach out to Trinity. I've seen a myriad of people posting their videos about their experience. Some brave, may I add, some brave people. It takes a lot to be that
Mhm.
vulnerable to tell people that you had a moment in your life that you were so weak that you felt like you needed to leave this world, because people are always judging you and they always got something to say. Even the strongest people y'all see walking around here are going through things that you never even can imagine sometimes. So shout out to Trinity for leading this campaign, Wear Purple, September the 30th. This is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month.
Absolutely amazing. And if you feel that you are in that place, find somebody, whether it's a professional or if it's just a friend, just find somebody that you feel that you can
And
trust
make
and
sure you
that you can talk to.
tag her when you wear your purple, okay?
Your
And
purple.
also
Okay.
it's another pageant coming up. You know about this pageant, Dominique. Tell us about it.
Yes, this is Diamantes and Anthony Simmons preliminary to All American Goddess and Gent. It's going to be held at Play Louisville, January the 11th, 2026. So if you would like to go and compete for All American Goddess or All American Gent, please be sure to contact them and they will get you all of the information that you need. And honey, and I bet if you win, you'll get all the promotion you want because we know Diamante gonna put you out there, and it may be all over Punk News Network, so don't do no dirty shit. But
Okay.
they're both amazing promoters. I've known Anthony for a really really long time, and he's
Okay.
very passionate about the art form, and he's always going around supporting all of the various pageants across the country. So definitely go and support them at Midwest All American Goddess and Chant.
All right. And um we have a guest coming up, right?
Yes.
I She can be controversial sometimes, but who can't? Even I can when I post stuff, right? But she's
Hmm.
another person that is, when she say what she means, she mean what she say. She don't bite her tongue. Like there was one time where, because I heard stories about Terry Williams back in the day, right? And
Hmm.
there was one time that Tanisha Cassidy won her pageant, and for whatever reason, something happened, and it was like she called said Tanisha Cassidy is a pageant pig. She just go to pageant, and so all the Tanisha kids got so angry, right? I said, y'all, I was texting them. I said, y'all, let's sit this one out. Don't worry. I said, Tanisha don't want us to say nothing. Like, I I don't want to get in front of this lady. She cut me, too thick to boil and too thin to fry. I was like, let's leave this one alone. But Terry Williams, a former Miss Continental, a former Miss Sweetheart at large. I think she won Miss Gay Ohio, or she's the owner of Gay Ohio. We'll find out once she come in.
Okay, Black
Y'all welcome to
Ohio.
the y'all welcome to the stage with us. This is none other than
To the
the
couch.
Terry Williams. What's up, Terry?
Hey,
Hi. How are
hello. How y'all doing?
you? We're
I'm great. I'm
good.
great. I'm
Welcome,
great.
welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, and Gay Black Ohio. So I did win Miss Gay Black Ohio, which is the oldest gay black pageant in existence.
How many
In
years?
1977. It's the oldest gay black pageant. And
Oh
I won in
wow.
99. And then
Okay.
so we kind of inherited it after Big Mama died, after Deception had it. So me and Lisa Cartier, we put it on, but it's a bore. So
Okay.
yeah, we just keep it going, and we pay for it out of our pocket. It's very expensive, but
Yeah,
we
I can
keep it going
imagine.
because of the legacy and stuff. So it's really a legacy thing.
Okay. Okay.
Amazing.
So, real quick, so the Tanisha Cassadine thing, yeah, that okay. So she had one Miss Gay Black Ohio, and so initially we had spoke with her and asked her, kind of basically said, if you're just coming to get the money, we really don't want you to come. We
Yeah.
really want someone who wants the pageant.
Uh-huh.
And she said, "Oh, okay, yeah, yeah." And then, so then she said, "Fuck our obligations and shit like that." So then, so then she was just like, "Fuck it," because she came and got her money. It was done. So
Yeah.
then, so then I got a little pissed off, and then this is it. This is like really in the beginning of social media. People
Uh,
really wasn't like really, posting like that. Now people
yeah.
share their experiences all the time and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And I remember her kids getting mad and posting stuff. I was like, y'all,
yeah.
let's sit this one out, y'all. As I said, this bitch is crazy, bitch. I ain't trying to go to Continental and something get whooped right after the opening and shit.
Listen, they got listen. People got stories. Some of them made up. Some of them are true. Some of them I do not remember. I don't know.
You don't
Okay, but
know.
I mean, I had some. I had some times. I had some experiences. But keep in mind, though. Keep in mind, when
Uh-huh.
I won Canada Plus, I was like, I had just turned 24. Just turned 24.
24.
Just
24.
okay. And mind you, and me and Tommy Ross reigned together. And at the time, I think Tommy was maybe 30 some, maybe 40 almost. You know what I mean? So there's a difference in age, when you're 24, and she's 40, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or however old she is, you know what I mean? So it, but she kind of leveled me up. I learned a lot from Tommy during that year. Her
Mhm.
and Michelle Dupree. I had half the
Okay.
year with Michelle Dupree. And then the
Okay.
other half, I was there when Tommy was crowned. I helped crown Tommy, and then then my prelims started. This is when they had, see, this is when they had
Oh,
like tons of prelims, so after Continental and Labor Day, Plus's prelims would start. You would go through like all of October, November, January stuff, racking them up to get the contestants for April.
But before you got to Continental or even thought about Continental, we want to know about Terry Williams. We want to know where you from,
Okay.
how did you get started, and when was your first time creating that character of Terry Williams?
Okay. Well, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. Okay.
Okay.
And I think I kind of started like most people. I mean, I started when I was a kid, tying sheets around my waist and stuff in the bathroom, listening to music and shit, making gowns and shit. I was like about 10, 11 years old doing that shit, just
Mm-hmm.
listening to the music and stuff. Um, I transitioned at a really young age. I was 14 years old when I went into the women's restroom to test out, how, because every time I went to the men's restroom, I would always get, "Oh no, baby girl, you're in the wrong place." And I'm like, "No, I gotta go." My dad like, "Go pull
Yeah.
out your dick, boy." I'm like, "No," my dad was just gross. He was just gross. He just went, pull out, tell him, show him your dick, boy. I'm like, "I can't, no, no."
Yeah.
So I went into the girls' restroom, and it kind of saw I really transitioned like about 15.
Wow.
okay.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was that like? Who did you see that made you say, "Hey, this is something I can do. I want to be a girl"?
Listen, Mona Desmond. She's from Cleveland, Ohio. She
Mm-hmm.
is a total legend. She was like one of the first sex changes in Cleveland. When I was 16 years old, I went to the bar, the drag bar, and this bar is still in existence. And I was watching the show, and it was like some buffoonery out here and stuff. And then here she comes, just glamorous. She had huge titties, and she shook her titties. And when she shook her titties, the crowd paid her, and she just smiled. And when she shook them some more, that crowd paid her. I said, "That's exactly who I want to be right there." Right there. Right there. I adored this woman. I
Yeah.
adored her. And then I lived at home, and I gave her my number, and she called me, and it was almost like Whitney Houston calling you on the phone. I was like, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
oh my God, what
Yeah.
doesn't call me?" She was like, "Hey girl, what are you doing?" It was something. She died when I was like 20, 21 years old. But
Oh.
it was like she was who I kind of molded myself after.
Okay.
Mm.
She's beautiful. She was like my complexion, she was just gorgeous. But she had a sex change, and I was a sex worker. I started being a sex worker at 16 years old. Yeah, I started
Mm.
working on the streets as a sex worker. I was a sex worker for 30 damn years. Sex work is work. I say that. I say that in my job to this day. Sex work is work. People use their body. Construction workers use their body out there. They get tan, they get burned, they get cut, they get messed up. And sex workers do the same shit and they use their body for money. And sex work is work. Because
So
for a lot of us trans women, we were not allowed. Back in the day, you could do hair,
yeah,
you could be a
makeup.
florist and makeup, or
Yeah.
you was a sex worker.
Or
That
use
was
this.
it.
Yeah.
That was it for the
Yeah.
trans girls.
That's all the pickings was slim.
Very.
I can attest to that because I had girlfriends that was transitioning, and back in the late '90s and stuff, it was very hard for even get a job at McDonald's. It was
It
very hard.
was.
They were
They didn't
very
want the girls out there like that. No.
discriminatory. Yes,
No.
yes. But 15.
Yes.
When you say transition, how far is that transitioning going at 15?
Um. Shit. I started gluing tracks and shit in my hair.
Yeah.
Going out to the thing and doing my. It was like, um, I was just changing, you know what I mean? Like just changing. It was kind of morphing into, I was sneaking out the house at night, going to the bathroom, kind of getting dressed and flying out the door, and
Mm-hmm.
changing the alley and stuff. And my mom knew, she asked
Okay.
me, yeah, 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 she knew. She asked me when I went to the bar and I told her, I said, Mom, I saw this woman. I said her name was Mona Desmond. She was so gorgeous. My mom knew her because my mom was also a sex worker and she knew Mona
Hold
from.
up, hold up. Your mom was a sex worker.
Yes, yes,
This
sir.
this is this is your real mom.
My birth mother.
How did you? At what age did
Interesting.
you realize that your mom is a sex worker, and what did you understand
About
about her job?
I knew. Okay, my mom was a runaway. She's a white woman. My mom's
Okay,
white. My father's black, and
okay.
she ran away. And this is like late '60s, like last '60s, '70s. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and she was a teenager and stuff. And so this is the time when buses and loads of people were coming to Cleveland, and then they had pimps and they had the girl. A man never got the girls. It was always another girl that got the girl.
Okay.
So it was a
Got
white
okay.
woman named Rita that brought her into it. And then so she went through like the whole thing and the whole like when Detroit had riots, Cleveland had riots and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
she was kidnapped before by some nutcase and stuff. I mean she told us a lot of things. Probably stuff we didn't need to know, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe she felt we did. I don't know. But so she at about 7 or 8, I remember her getting dressed. I remember like this little hot pants. You remember hot pants?
Yes.
The little
Yes.
short
Yes.
pants. She
Yeah.
was putting those on and stuff. And I kind of asked her, I kind of knew, and she said, "You know what mommy does?" And I said, "Yeah." And she was like, "Mommy does it to take care of you guys and stuff like that, and that was what we understood. So it
Oh.
And
became
so,
a thing for us. Go ahead.
so at that age, how did that feel? Because most people's moms are going to the office, they're going
Right.
to the
Well,
factory and
yeah,
all
my
stuff. And then,
mom's
so when
got
you,
my mom's gig was practically to office. Like she would leave. She would drive. This was at a different time. She didn't have like this is when she later on married my dad and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole other thing. But so he was there, but he wasn't. He was an alcoholic and very
Mm.
abusive and stuff. But but she kind of left but she was there when we got home from school. So she worked like from 10 to like 4, and she made a lot of money. And
yeah,
she had
okay.
like a lot of, we always had a Bob or a Frank, some old white guy that would come and,
Mm-hmm.
she had this one guy, Vallo, he lived in this nasty ass apartment building and stuff, and she didn't want to deal with them, but we would have to walk up to the train station and go get this envelope for like $1,000, like a week.
Wow.
He was just giving her just money, but you know what I mean? It was a life.
Did
Um,
it seem glamorous to you?
it did.
Yes.
It did.
Yeah.
Because I
Yes.
remember dropping this is how I remember this is how I knew it. I remember we dropped my mom off and it was cold outside.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this white woman, she was pretty as fuck. She had this fur coat right to there. And all you
Yeah.
saw was legs. and it was freezing, and it just spurt this fur coat. She was like ass and this supposed to be naked in this coat. You know, you saw legs in there. And my mom got out, and she was saying she was a waitress in these hot pants. Okay, you're not waitressing in these damn hot pants. Okay, so you know, I mean, I think kids can deal with a lot if you just tell them.
If you
You know what I
just tell
mean?
the
Yeah.
truth.
Kids can they can deal with it. Um, it was some stuff we probably shouldn't have dealt with. You know what I mean? And there was a lot of drugs and stuff. And so you know, it's a learned behavior. You know what I mean? So that's what I knew. I knew
Mm,
sex work and drugs. You know,
mm,
So
and
did any
so
of the kids at school know?
um, yeah. Okay, listen. Yes, but this is the thing. So my mom was one of those people. She collected dirt on everybody.
mm.
So you would say, okay, Regina's mom said this. When you told Regina's mom, I remember she was sucking dick down at the end of the bar at Herb's. And you know, so my mom, she always had something on
Yeah,
somebody. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
she was unbothered, you
She
know.
kept one loaded in the
For
chamber.
everybody, for
Yeah,
everybody.
Oh
Yeah.
my
yeah.
Yeah.
goodness.
She was
Wow.
the protector. You know what I mean? She was the, you know, my dad was just the enforcer. So we had good cop and bad cop. She loved to play good cop, you know, because he was a total bad cop. So
Mm.
that's, you know.
So you talk about transitioning at 15.
Hmm.
Then you talk about doing sex work
Hmm.
at 16.
Yes.
Tell me about your first trick that you encountered. What was that experience like?
Um, Really at the time, I think that most people don't know, aren't good at sex. Nobody's good at sex. Nobody's first time is good. No
Right,
one's.
right.
No one's first time is good. It's always because
Mm-hmm,
you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You know what I
mm-hmm,
mean? And so I was just going along with it, and it was like $20. Just like, you know what I mean? It was just like, okay, you know, and 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 it was gross. It was an old man and shit,
yeah.
you know. I mean, but it was money, you know. And so I was like, okay, it's a start. And so then my mom knew that this is in the time of HIV and
Mm-hmm.
AIDS was really bad. This is like early 90s.
Early nights. Okay.
This is like 91, 92. I was born in 75.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So this is that time. So my mom was because they were using heroin. They were shooting up heroin. So but they were very good cautious with their needles, and so you know I was always worried about her. But so when she realized what I was kind of knew what I was doing, I had a car, and I opened up the glove compartment, and like all these condoms fell out. Okay, so she loaded it up with condoms, you know, and then so I just used them from that point, just because, you know what I mean, because they were there, and she, you know, said use them. So I started using them. So that was a good thing because I made it, you know, I made it through. I say that part of the problem with girls in our generation is that the people that should have taught us how to be a trans woman died.
Mm.
All of them died. Most of them died. There was only a few of them that made it through. But the people that should have
Mm.
told me how to be, for how to transition out of sex work.
Mhm.
What does a 40-year-old trans woman look like? What does a 45-year-old trans woman? What does a 50-year-old trans woman? What, you know, I don't have those. You know, we have very few examples. And we all can't be show queens forever. We can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
a 25-year-old Terry don't want to hear shit a 50-year-old Terry would have to say. I say, shut up, you
Mm.
old bitch. I don't want to hear shit you got to say. You know what I mean? I mean, think about it. Would
Mm-hmm.
a 20-year-old yourself, have anything to tell you right now?
Mm-mm.
You
I,
would be like,
mm-mm.
honey, what? You
I
know what I
wouldn't.
mean?
I wouldn't be hearing it. I wouldn't be
You
hearing
wouldn't.
it.
I
Like,
wouldn't.
get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
So
Wow.
how did that shape your perception of what a woman was? Because you said your mother was a sex worker, and then you
It was right.
transitioned
It
to.
was that was, I mean, I used to, that's what I used to just draw. I used to draw pictures of like sex workers talking and stuff. I mean, it was in, ingrained in me. You know what I mean? It's so like I said, and then to find out that my mom, this one white guy, this gay guy, forgot his name, he told me later on when my mom went to prison, they were selling heroin. They went to prison. He said she was, I guess, confided in him that she was worried about my sisters being a sex worker. She didn't, you know what I mean? So she was hurt that I was. But this is also at the time when you got off the street, you got on the paper, you got into the newspaper, Clean Magazine. It was $25, and all of a sudden I'm making $150 a pop. You know what I mean? And I'm turning
Mhm.
like, I mean, however many dates I want to turn. I'd cut my phone off, I'd make $800 by like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I shut my pager off. I'm not turning no more dates. It was just money like that. So it
Mm.
was more money than I could, you know what I mean? It was so much money. And I lived
Especially,
very well.
especially at that age and at that time. That's a lot of money.
Yes.
That's a lot of money.
It's a
So,
lot.
did you say your mom dabbled in smoking heroin too?
No, they were shooting heroin. They were
They were
heroin addicts.
shooting.
Yeah, they
Okay.
were shooting heroin. They were heroin addicts. But so eventually, so she came selling it, and they used to sell heroin in bundles.
Okay.
Bundles were 10 packets folded up, and or 5 packets. And that was a half a bundle. So then they were like $25 for the bundle. So
Mm.
it's like a heroin addict would do like a one that had a lot would do like a whole bundle.
Mm.
Okay. So they were selling a lot. So then she became really, really big with it. And then she ended up going to prison over it. Because there was
Mm.
just so much heroin. Because the heroin dealer would just come into town just to give her all the stuff. So she's giving him 5 and 10, 15, $20,000, because he's
Hmm.
making a hand over fist. You know what I mean? So she just got too big for it and stuff. And then she ended up dying in prison
Wow.
from an
Wow.
Wow.
ulcer. She had an ulcer and it just went into organ failure and all kind of bullshit.
How
So
how old was she, if you mind me asking?
listen, she was 48. And so when I just turned 50, I was like, I just passed her age
Yeah.
that she
Yeah.
died. You know what I mean? And my
Yeah.
father's dead also. He died at 54.
Okay.
So yeah, so both of my parents are dead. So
I'm
we were
sorry to
all in
hear
our
that.
twenties
So,
when yeah,
so
go
in
ahead.
that world of prostitution, you're out in the streets, you're young, you're impressionable. Did anybody ever introduce you to the life of drugs?
I was like total anti-drugs, and especially during my and then I was raining Continental, I was Continental Plus, and I didn't like Erica Andrews, okay, because I was like USA beforehand,
Mm.
and it was like a whole little confrontation thing, and I snatched up Natasha Richards. It was the whole thing.
So you
So
snatching the people up?
yeah, I was a good child because she ran her mouth. It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. Okay, so
Okay.
I was totally against coke and all this stuff, but then I'm in Texas and I'm booked in Texas like for a whole week, and then I'm at the Saint with Erica Andrews, and all of a sudden, so she's being cool and stuff. So we're going to the bathroom. We're beautiful people. We're breaking it up. Oh, we're fierce, fabulous.
Hmm.
And I come out of the stall and she's got a whole, got here. And so there, bitch did it. And then it was on by a job. Then it was on about, but then, because I I seen the heroin and I seen the shooting up and stuff, so I was totally against that and totally against needles and all that shit. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Mhm.
So doing some coke was just a party thing. You know what I mean? It was
Hmm.
Okay.
it's just a party favor.
And that was your
So
first time taking a hit when she offered it to
that
you?
Erica Andrews was the first person I ever
Oh.
did cocaine with,
I
ever.
mean, was it?
Really?
Did you feel like it was peer pressure, or do you feel like, "Oh, I have to take this because I'm one of the girls too"?
Yeah, yes, yes, yes,
Oh,
yes, all of the
because
above.
people don't realize that adults go through peer pressure too.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Like
You
I
know what I'm
said,
saying?
she's being cool, and I'm like, okay, she ain't that bad after all. And
Right.
she's like, come on, girl, we're getting drinks. Like I said, we're the beautiful people. We're walking around, we're giving attitude. The bar is massive, the bar is packed, the boys are, at you. You know what I mean? So we're breaking it up. So it's me, her, and somebody else, and we go into this bathroom. Come on, girl, go to the bathroom. I'm thinking we're just going to piss.
Yeah. So what was so how did you feel the first time you get this powder up your nose? Bam. What is that feeling like that first time?
It smelled weird, you know what I mean? But it
Hmm.
was kind of cool. And so, what I mean, we just did it. And so I don't know. I just remember doing it though. So I ended up at her house all night, and it was just a whole thing.
Okay.
So did y'all get along that from that day forward?
From that day forward, we were cool as fan. Me and that bitch were thick as thieves. From that day forward, me and that bitch were thick as thieves. Jimmy had to tell us one time, you two bitches just stay out of the motherfucking bathroom. And Jimmy, me and Eric and Aaron just lived in the bathroom. Girl, we were thick as, from that point, we were thick as thieves. Yes, we were cool. She
That
left
I
is
here, we
so
were thick as thieves.
hilarious.
Yeah, she was
So
thick.
how does it come about? So now let's fast forward a little bit. Let's
Okay.
talk about your first time on stage.
Okay, so let me explain this. I'm a sex worker, but I'm still going to the bars, and then I meet this white queen. She's like 7 years older than me. She just started transitioning,
mm-hmm.
and so because there was this one rude bitch who was like introduced me, so then she's like, Terry's my friend first, but me and this white girl, Jessica Michaels, she used to
Mm-hmm.
do Continental. Okay, she made the 12 a couple times. Um, she should have made five the one year but that next year at the time he stepped down. But so she kind of taught me. She's the one that helped me craft my character. So I started thinking, like, so I was already calling myself Terry. I was like, so what kind of drag name am I gonna use? She was like, you're Terry. You should just stay Terry. So I just stayed Terry. And then I took my last name. Now that I'm detransitioning, I don't mind mentioning it. My name was William. So I did the old, last name, first name as your last name routine.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I did
Yeah.
Terry
Yeah.
Williams. So that's how that came about. And so she had a benefit show to do, and I was 19 years old, and I wanted to do The Color Purple. That was always my thing. So I made me a whole little sugar, every little outfit and everything else, and I did that number for her show. And that was the first time I performed. But she was really good with her direct. Like, so if you would may have something made and it was a little weird, she go, uh, I think you should take the whole front thing off and redo it. You'd be like, what? I'm not redoing. But she was like meticulous like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She wouldn't stand for it to be crooked, cocktail stews. So she gave me an eye for things. So that much I really appreciated her for. She's a sex
Um,
change now. She's doing very well.
yeah, somebody just said a passion just said she's a sex change now.
Cheers.
Uh when did you start getting body augmentations because you was this voluptuous,
Right.
beautiful woman, right? So when did you start?
I started okay. So because I was bigger, because
Mm-hmm.
I was at my heaviest when I was 16. I was just gained so much weight. I was like 380
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh
until
wow.
I started. Yeah, I was a big girl. So then I had a lot of skin and stuff. So then when I had started sex working and working streets and becoming myself, I shrunk down. So
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of flesh, and I went to go to the surgeon to get implants. And at the time, he told me they would have to do a breast lift. And he showed me the picture of what it would look like. Have you seen what it looks like if you put an implant in and they don't lift it and you got that skin?
Mm-hmm.
The titty will slide down.
Mm-hmm.
So the plant will stay, but the
Yeah.
skin will slide past it, and they'll
Okay.
be
Oh,
like
gotcha.
facing downward. Have you ever seen that? I've seen a couple of girls do that.
A little ball, like a ball in a sock.
Yeah, because the plant is sitting here, but you
Yeah.
got extra skin, and the nipple should be here, but it'll
Yeah.
slide
Yeah.
because you got too much skin still. And they wanted to cut my
Gotcha.
nipple off and move it, and I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. And they was like, there's no way to fill it up. Yes, there is. So then that's when I started getting silicone because Jessica was getting silicone. Remember Joanne
Mm,
from New York, who used to do everybody, used to do a lot of people in Chicago, Michelle and Joanne and stuff.
mm,
They and then Amanda in West Virginia. So I just started getting them bigger, and then they got fucking huge. You know what? This is the problem with body augmentation. You don't know it's too much until it's too much.
mm.
Mm.
You can't see
Mm.
yourself. I kept staring in the mirror saying they're not getting any bigger. They're not getting any bigger.
But
Then
they
it took,
were.
they were. And I just kept
Wow.
getting them bigger and I
Is
couldn't
that
see it.
is that body dysmorphia people be talking about?
I'd say
Is that
that
a part of
is.
that?
I say it is. I say it is. I say it
Yeah.
is. I say because you're like, you know, and then one day I walked, and this lesbian friend, she said, shit, sorry, she said, Terry, don't keep getting your titties bigger. It's because eventually it's not going to be about you and your beauty. It's going to be about your titties. But
Mm.
with me conceptualizing Mona Desmond with the big titties, that's and Dolly Parton, that's what I wanted.
Amanda Lepore.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. You know what I mean? So
So let me ask you a quick question, Terry.
mhm,
Did you transition for survival, or did you really transition because you wanted to be a woman?
I transitioned because I felt like a woman
Okay.
and I wanted to be a
Mhm.
woman. I felt it, you know what? And then I realized I'm a man. I realized I'm a man that lives better as a woman. That
Mm.
that's what I be. That's what I had became. You know what I mean? So that's why I realized what I was. But at the time, I didn't transition to be a trans woman because we didn't
Okay.
transition to be trans women. That's
Right.
a new thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's only a few years old. You know, I was only like 3 or 4 years ago that I even said the word that I'm a trans woman. You know, I
Okay.
never, you know what I mean? I never, I didn't transition to be a trans woman. I
So
transitioned
what
to be a woman.
to be a woman?
Right.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah, I get that. I
Yeah.
get times was different then anyway. But
It
I mean,
was.
because you like when I look through your pictures and stuff, I'm like, this is one beautiful goddamn woman. So I can imagine that when you first started getting in, it was like not a problem. People like, ma'am, yes, ma'am,
Right.
going about your business.
No
You
problem.
got in, it was,
No problem.
it was that
No
thing.
problem.
So you start to live as a woman, and then people start
Easily.
call. I'm sure you start hearing the word beautiful a lot.
Yes.
So who took you down to Chicago to introduce you to Continental?
Jessica Michaels did. She took
Jessica
me down
Michaels.
there and she went to go do Miss Chicago. I think it was the year Fantasia Lamore won the pageant.
Okay.
Um, but Jessica was there. And that was the first and only time that I met and seen Tandy Andrews.
Okay.
Mm.
That was the
What
only
year
time.
was this? Do you remember the year?
That was like 94.
94.
Okay.
Mhm.
Was
Yeah.
she the current reigning Miss? Well, not current
No, she
reigning.
went there and she lost the pageant. But Ginger Grant was talking to me and asked me to do. Then Ginger Grant had a pageant called Chubby World,
Chubby.
and she gave me, and
Sh-
it was a big prelim to Continental Plus.
okay.
So she wanted me to, because remember Ginger Grant was the first big girl for doing Continental. So he
Okay.
created Plus for Ginger Grant
Okay.
because he
Okay.
loved
Oh,
Ginger Grant.
okay.
Yes, Ginger Grant was the first Plus girl cutting into five, getting close to winning.
The five.
Yes.
Get the
And
hell
was
out of
she the
here.
size that she was that we
No,
remember,
she
or was
wasn't.
she a little
No,
bit?
she was a lot thinner
Okay.
than that. She was a lot. She
Okay.
was a big girl, but she wasn't the Ginger Grant of latter years. That
And she was
Ginger Grant was
good.
one. Yes, she was cutting the five, and then Jimmy hired her, and then that's when he created Plus. And you know what I was
Mhm.
thinking? I was thinking why Plus pageants are bigger because I mean, actually, they probably shouldn't even exist. Plus girls should just have a fair shake. But it was created because plus girls weren't getting the fair shake because
Mhm.
they wanted the thinner look.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
look they wanted, you
Okay.
Mhm.
know.
So you go to that prelim. Do you qualify to go? to Continental
Yes,
that year?
I was first runner up to Tamara Chevalier, and I qualified to go. Um, and but then when I hit the stage, now I was heard them screaming something. And Jessica said, "Did you hear that?" So I said, "What?" They were screaming, "Fish, fish, fish." I was like, "Man, yeah." So they were screaming, "Fish, fish, that
Fish.
fish, that fish." The crowd just really pushed me on. So yeah, I ended up not going. I ended up going to USA at large first,
Mm.
Okay.
which I think was a good thing because I got a little training there. And then I started going to Continental Plus, and then took me three. I was second runner up, then I made the 12, then I won.
Then you won.
Shout out to Taji. Taji said she whipped you over there at Chubby
That's what I
World.
was. I
And
was
yeah.
just about to
The
say
second
that.
year, no,
I
the
was just
second
about to
year,
say
the
that.
second year I went, second year I went back. Tashi sure did. She did. No bad news. She damn right. I can't because I came back. Damn, I came back the next year, and Tashi sure did. Yes, she did.
And she said y'all been girlfriends ever since.
Ever since we was always girlfriends.
Oh
Me,
my
Blank.
god.
That I would come to Chicago. Those were my girls. Those
Yeah.
are my go-to girls.
Yeah.
Taji and Flint.
Shout out to
Those were
Taji, Big
my
Pussy.
best girls. Those are my best girls.
That's
I
my
mean, we
G,
would
We
run
man.
love you,
Chicago
Taji.
together. Taji
Love
was big
Taji.
fish. Taji was just like me. Taji was fish. You couldn't tell nobody
Listen to
nothing.
me.
Taji was fish.
Taji came to Memphis to do a pageant, and our girlfriend Savannah St. James, all them girls were getting ready. Taji came and she had on heels this tall. I don't know if I'm showing it. Taji whooped them so bad, came down there and won that title on them children. Let me tell you something. They were upset, but she
Taji
was
was a
so
motherfucker.
done. So
Yes.
done. Shout out to Taji.
Yeah,
Um,
Tajee was good. Tajee, and yes, we became friends. That's when I first met her. And Tajee put the way she did. She did that no bad news. That bitch was like I said, she was gorgeous. But me and her and me, Tajee, and Chevelle and stuff, we're like the same. I think we're like the same year and everything. We're like exactly the same age.
okay,
This
that's
is
what's up.
our
Okay.
this is our
She,
generation. It's crazy how many people this year that I've seen turning 50. I just
yeah,
turned 50 in March.
yeah.
So
What does that feel like? What is that milestone? I know you spoke about, your mom passing at
you
48 and you
know,
making it to 50.
I never thought I was gonna make it. You know what I knew was gonna happen? Something told me. I said, you know what's gonna happen, bitch? I said, you're gonna get I said, you're gonna think you're gonna be dead by 35, but you're gonna end up living. You're gonna be end up fucked. You
And
know what
you
I mean?
and you thought you was gonna die by 35 because were you too wild? Because I imagine,
Yeah,
listen,
I was out there, yeah.
this is just me imagining. You starting out at 16. Now
Mm-hmm.
you have entered a whole new world, right? Because these Johns can be crazy. You don't
Oh
never know who
yeah.
you meet.
I got
You have to
stabbed.
fight for survival. This is what you're doing. So did you get very wild in those years? And how
I
wild
did.
did you get?
I did. I think it was one incident where this guy he stabbed me. Um I thought he was just gonna rob me. So
Mm,
we were in this alley, and then I thought he was just gonna rob me. So I'm just playing along. So then he's like, okay, something I did and stuff. So actually he's like at this point raping me, because I'm
yeah.
at knife point.
Yeah.
So he's putting the knife away, and I'm thinking like, okay, come on, honey, you're gonna bust up what you want to do. And then next thing I know, this fucker stabbed me in my shoulder.
Oh
Mm,
wow.
But I was down, so I got up, and he kept swinging, and he popped me on the side, it punctured my lung. So I started running, and when I down the alley, and I thought he was chasing me because that's what you see in the movies. He was actually running the other way. You know
mm,
what I mean? So then that's when I learned a whole lot from that lesson. I learned
Mm.
that's why, when somebody gets stabbed or something, or somebody gets shot, it's like, how do you end a robbery? If you walk into the
mm.
store, you rob the store. Now, how do you walk out the door? That's why people shoot the thing because they don't know how to end it.
They don't know how
They
to
know
end
how
it.
to start it. They don't know how to
Yeah.
end it. You know what I mean? He didn't know how to walk
Yeah.
away. So he wanted to incapacitate me. And then at this
Wow.
point, he's just swinging because I'm up. And you know what I mean? And so I just thank God he didn't cut my throat or something
Cut
crazy
throat.
for me.
Yeah.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because he
So
could
did you
have.
go to
He
the
would have stabbed.
hospital?
Yes. My lung, because my lung was punctured and stuff. And they had to
Yeah.
they take another tube and they cut through and they put a pump in there and they blow it up when it collapses. And they leave the tube in there to keep air going in there and stuff. So I was in the hospital for like 5. Yeah, it was traumatizing. So fighting with tricks and stuff, you know what I mean? It toughened me up. It made me, and so I was with another tough girl, and so we did some dirty shit. I mean, we did some dirty shit. We was out there cold and stuff, and it was like, next motherfucker stop, this motherfucker getting robbed. You know what I mean? We taking everything.
You used to
Everything.
rob the tricks?
Oh mother, but shit.
What?
Yeah, that was the name of the game. You get the. I mean, I would like to steal the money
Hey, Denise
politely.
Jackson.
I would like to steal the money politely,
Uh-huh.
leave the wallet and shit. This bitch want to always fight the trick and all kind of nonsense and foolishness and stuff. Child, this one time you're in there, she's here running her mouth at this trick. She takes and tries to mace him, but the mace is closed. He snatched that bitch up and drug that hoe down the street, punching this bitch, and dropped her out the car. Because she was insane. She was fucking
Whoa.
insane.
I
But we did some dirty shit. We did some dirty
some
shit.
dirty
So do
shit.
you like sit home? I mean, just be at home and just think about, ooh, I have done some shit in my life.
Yes, I do. I do. I
Wow.
do. I do. I think like, wow, you know what I mean? I, the judge had to send me to prison. I
Yeah.
was cutting up.
And
I thought she wouldn't, but she had to.
she had to. And what did she send you to prison for? What did you end up going for?
We had this trick over the house, and and so he got all aggressive with me, and so here comes this bitch in the room. So she starts fighting him and stuff, and so of course, I go for the money, and then somehow she ends up fucking his arm up or something. I don't know. He
Mm.
ends up going to the hospital, and the cops come, so we end up going to jail for fucking robbery and felonious assault and kidnapping and because when you block
Oh
somebody's
shit.
entrance or exit, they charge you with that shit. But I was
Mm-hmm.
already on probation for this arson and
Arson.
arson because I set this fucker's car on fire. I mean, I was.
God damn, Terry. What the fuck was Terry? Terry.
Oh my.
So he was a close friend of mine, and I
Hey
had just
Flame.
took this money from the
Hey,
bank, and
Flame.
this motherfucker stole my money.
That
Okay.
you took from the bank.
Yeah, it was like eight
You
thousand
robbed the
dollars.
bank.
No, I didn't rob the bank. I had just this was at the
Oh, okay,
time when we
got
started doing
you.
checks and stuff, and I had just busted out this
Okay,
account and stuff. And
okay.
I was getting ready to go to Mexico and get my like the little cone. I was these plants and stuff. This motherfucker stole my money. Okay. So then he wants to hide out in town. So when I found out where he was at, somebody told me where he was at. I went and took my husband over here, and we went to the gas station and got this thing gas because this crazy bitch had taught me how to burn a car up. So the
Uh-huh.
way you burn a car up is you break the window. If you set the inside on fire, that motherfucker will turn the wires in minutes. So you just
Whoa.
you bust the window, you throw some gasoline in there, and you light it. And when that car will engulf in about 20 minutes, the whole car will be wires. Okay.
Terry,
Oh my God.
what's the
So
most
you,
money you flipped somebody for?
A couple thousand, like 3,000, something like that.
Ooh.
Nothing,
really?
you know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
So you
So
were living the high life.
But then, you know what? My mother told me. My mother,
mhm.
thank God she told me. She was like, you know what I mean? If you make money, you don't even have to. You know what I mean? Because the ill-gotten money. I heard that phrase. You can't keep ill-gotten money, which is you never heard that before. You get money
Yeah.
the wrong way, you can't keep it. And
Yeah.
so, you know what I mean? I didn't keep anything I stole, so I just stopped stealing the shit. I was free enough. I started turning shit because the money was really good. I could just turn tricks.
Yeah.
I could just travel. I would go to Chicago for Continental, get my hotel room set up, turn my dates there, making my money during Continental. Because that's an expensive weekend. Jimmy may give
It
you a
is.
little bit of money, but it costs the girls a lot of money to do that.
Yeah, it
And that
do.
was part of my
Mm-hmm.
legacy was coming back and being part of that. You know, But
So almost every time you came back, you set up, dates and stuff when you came to
every time,
Chicago.
every
Every
time,
time.
every time.
Every time. Wow.
That is
So Terry, you talked about getting stabbed.
Mhm.
So a lot of people take that as like, okay, I ain't fucking with this more. This is a cautionary tale. I ain't doing this no more. What made you continue if you knew that this was a part of the game, that you could possibly get hurt or killed? Because I know you probably heard of girls or seen girls that got killed in the game too.
One of my closest friends, Tracy, she was the clip artist, but she was like this. She would turn dates like she would we call it the slick leg. When you turn you let him date, he think he's fucking a pussy, but he's fucking a slick leg. You know, they call it the slick leg. You know a slick leg. You just sit on, you let him do something. He don't know what he's doing. He just feeling something. He just rubbing or something. But she would jump in the car with two and three guys. She jumped in this
true. Oh
van
my
with
gosh.
she jumped in this van with two guys one time, and I think she clipped him. She said because all of a sudden they're fighting. She said in this van, boom, 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 and she said she ended up at the door. She opens the door. She started running. These two white motherfuckers chased her down, kicked her in her eyes. She
Oh
kept
my
kicking her in
gosh.
the eyes. You know, she could barely see. She held a little piece of her eye open and somehow managed to walk to the hospital down the street. She was blinded. Went to the hospital. She
Wow.
had several surgeries that they gave her something. Sometimes she can play cards, but it'd be like the big cards. She would like,
Whoa.
yeah, that
So,
And
was
that's
so was that
and
the
that
turning point for you? That you
um
said, you know what?
I didn't. I stopped stealing, and I didn't. I was never. I wouldn't get in the car with two people. No, I would.
mhm.
That
Yeah.
was just dangerous. She was like that, and she was a thief too. She was like one of those ones. Like some of them girls could just. They would lean in the car. You would if you get in the car with the date. This bitch is standing over here and things. She'd steal the money before you even get. You know, when even the date pull off, she'd get steal the money from the outside of the car. It was some crazy shit back then. But it
Wow.
was that was the life. You know what I mean? It
That
was
was the life.
that
That
back then this street street smarts used to be something.
yeah. You
Now they're
needed
Yeah.
it.
nothing.
No.
But they used to be something. You used to have street smarts. Now
Uh,
they don't mean shit.
especially if you wanted to survive. You
Yes,
really need
Yeah.
you really needed that.
you did. You did.
Mhm.
So,
Terry, you have
so
had a
what was
life.
your, yeah, what was your time in prison like? So you show up, you got, because you have the big old titties and stuff at the
Yes, I
point.
did. Yes, I did. Yes, I
What?
did.
Oh,
So were you in the women's prison or were you in the men's?
No, I was in the
Where did
men's
they
prison.
send you?
It depends on what you
And
got
what
down
was
there.
that like?
That was crazy. Because they walked me to the cat warden's office. I had to show them my titties. She got a bra. She said she's going to get a bra. The warden did, the deputy warden. She said, there's a lot of guys fucking goes on in the shower. If you get one guy, you better stick with him. You better not be fucking everybody in this prison causing a bunch of shit because I'll lock your ass up. I was like, bitch, what? I said, I'm not even here for that. Bitch, I'm trying to just do my time. And so she was a bitch. And so, you know what I mean? I ended up going, it was prison. You do it. They cut my
And how
hair
many years
short.
were you there?
2 years. I did 2 years.
2 years.
yeah.
Okay, 2 years.
Actually, they weren't.
And
They
was
weren't.
this before plus or after plus?
This was after.
This was after
This
Mm.
plus.
is after. Yes, they sent me continental books and signed continental books and all kind of stuff. Yeah, they
Mm.
knew about it. I had it because I knew I was going. 'Cause I was a tyrant. So it was time to put my ass to rest.
Terry, I heard a story about you driving a car through a store. Is that true?
Okay, it's not a store. It's the bar. Okay.
It's a bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, this bar Euphoria. I did. I guess I was there. Okay. So there was a fight, and we went to the bar, and then me and this crazy bitch. This is the crazy bitch. So it was a crazy bitch. We had planned. I was like, they barred us from the bar, so we were laughing like, okay, you're gonna bar us, we're gonna bar everybody. Okay,
Hmm.
so we were going to just um, to get some date that was drunk or something, just kind of push him out, take his car, and line it up and have it go through the bar. So one day I come back to the apartment that we're sharing. There's this bloody guy standing downstairs, like ripped up. He's like, I said, what the fuck? Here she comes downstairs with a stick of a table. It's like, yeah, I got his keys. Let's go. I said, what? Yeah, you got the car. Let's go. So I followed her in the car. We get to the bar. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. There's nobody here. It's a warehouse. We lined this stick up. She's a stupid bitch. So turned the car, I turned the car on, put it in neutral, slid the seat up with the stick of the thing, had the gas running. So I was like, okay, you got it, you know. So this dumb bitch leans in, almost ends up getting dragged with the car. That car drove straight through that bar like it was driving through a sheet of paper. It was just went. And so,
Oh.
yes, it was just went just straight through. It was like, so we're gagging, we're laughing, and we leave. And just like they say, the criminal always comes back to the scene of the crime to see their handiwork. We come back, there's fire trucks everywhere. Like, what the fuck's going on? So the car drove through the bar, hit this thing, the tires kept spinning, and burned and set the fucking bar on fire.
What?
Oh my goodness.
What?
So
Terry.
because she felonious assaulted this man, first the cops thought he did it. Rumors was going around in the newspaper that this man found his wife in their gay bar and drove his car through that. That wasn't the case. They ended up coming to they got her because they knew she did beat his ass. She did not implicate me, but they knew that I was part of it. And she ended up doing 6 years for that.
Damn.
But you did not
So
have to
I
do any time.
Right. So I took care of her. So then when she gets out, she's the one that caused this whole fucking fight that I ended up going to do. Then it was my turn to do the 2 years. It was like one of us got to go. And so I
Mhm.
had to go do the time this time. So
That was some ride or die bitch shit that
that
y'all
was
was
that's how we
doing.
played it.
You do
Right.
the time. I'm gonna do the time this time.
Right. That's how we did it. That's how we did it. She did the sick,
So
I
who
took care of her.
influenced who? Did Andrea Michaels influence you, or did you influence Andrea Michaels?
Andrea Michaels was a
Because
fierce.
that's a rough bitch too.
She was a part of her own, but she, you know what I mean? Andrea's just a country girl. She wasn't a city girl. She came to the city to get the city life. You know what I mean? But Andrea could run her mouth and she was a good entertainer. You know what I mean? So me and Andrea became fast friends. We did. We
Mhm.
were friends for a
Okay.
long, long time. Yeah, she's seen a lot of shit. She's seen a lot of shit. I've seen a lot of shit with her too, yeah.
Mhm. Terry.
Yeah.
So we speak about your past. You're so candid. I love how candid you are because this stuff has happened.
Yeah.
Can nobody beat you up with your truth when you're willing to tell your truth.
No,
But
no, right.
but
I refuse to lie. I have no shame in nothing. I mean, I didn't realize, when you're talking about like your mom and stuff, I did
uh,
as a child, I had shame. And then I realized, I had to tell my husband, I said, um, that's not your shame.
yeah,
What your parents did, that's not your shame.
I tell it. I
Let
say
it
that too.
go. You know what
I
I
say
mean?
that
So
too.
I can be proud of what I don't care if she's a sex worker. I don't care if they're heroin addicts. That's not my shame.
Yeah.
You know what I
So
mean?
right,
It's my shame.
and having the kind of life you did in the childhood you did, or starting out so early into the streets, and having to
Right.
survive, having to fight. Who was there to love Terry? When did you experience love?
By a partner or
Yes, because now if you started in the streets, right?
right.
So now, who do you
So
meet
now
that
I'm
say,
off the
Terry, I
streets.
love you and I'm gonna protect you?
Um, you know, the one guy that I'm with now.
Okay.
Okay.
We met right. Okay, so we did the crime in September. We had a big Halloween party. These one guys brought him over. I already had a husband from Florida, but me and him met and we snuck off and we messed around in the car. And this was exactly 21 years ago on Halloween.
Wow.
20 years ago.
And so we
Wow.
know each other ever since. And so one time we were in the bar, and this guy got up and punched me, and this motherfucker beat the shit out of him. And
Mm.
then another time, because I was always known for I had my sex parties, my sex and drugs, okay? Because
Okay.
I'd have all the drugs, because he who have the drug run the party,
That's it.
okay? So I never did nobody else's drugs. They come and did my drugs. So
Okay.
when I say get naked, we get naked, okay? Everybody's getting naked up in here, okay? If you're trying to do any of my drugs, okay? So the one time this he was there and we had like multiple people, and then my money order comes up missing. And I'm like, this motherfucker took my money order. And he's like, and the guy tries to leave. This motherfucker stand asshole naked at the door and said, yeah, no, you ain't going nowhere. Well, I said, come on, motherfucker. He stood there asshole naked and no, you ain't going nowhere. We gotta find this money order. And then conveniently he found it. Oh, it's over here. Oh yeah, thanks. I didn't look there at all.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, he was he as a person, I know that like I could run my mouth, but that motherfucker ain't gonna let nobody touch me.
I love that. I love that. So
And
was
how
that the
does
first
that
time you
feel?
felt love?
Yeah.
No, I had my husband, my first husband that I met in Florida. We
Okay.
met we met the weekend of 9/11 when 9/11
Mm.
happened.
Wow.
I was booked in Orlando.
And today is 9/11.
Exactly. Isn't that crazy? I was booked
Wow.
in Orlando, and I had a flight the morning of 9/11 at like 11 a.m. And then my friend called, said, "Did you see that?" And I said, "Oh shit, they're gonna shoot after the first airplane." I said, "They're gonna shut the airports down. I won't be able to fly out today." And I did. Remember, they shut the airports down. So I went out to Southern Nights that night, and me and him met. And then I stayed for a couple of days, and he ended up riding back to Cleveland with me.
And
Mm.
stay from there.
And we had unprotected sex all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Something in me told me. Now, me and him, I've topped him all the time, unprotected. Okay. Now he did with me once. Something told me. So when I went to prison, they tested me for HIV, and then
Hmm.
so I'm good to go. And then so they're telling me on the streets, your husband. They said he's got HIV. I said he's got AIDS. I said no, he doesn't. I said we've been fucking for 2 years straight. Raw. I don't have nothing. It's a total lie. Okay. Come to find out, no, it was the actual truth.
Mm.
So when
And
I
how
get
does
out
that
of prison,
feel?
um, it felt crazy that uh
Hmm.
I that I didn't have it because I got caught having sex in prison with my one partner in prison. So then they tested you again. You know what I mean? So they kept testing me. So I knew that I did not have it. So at the
Hmm.
time when I got out of prison, this was a different time. I said, I can't be with you because you're probably planning for the next 5 years. I got to plan for the next 35 years.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he was sickly and stuff, and he had something growth going out of his mind. He just deteriorated within 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that so called
So
friend,
you.
she started
Hmm.
when I went to prison. So she started fucking him, but she already had it. And she tried to say that he gave it to her. It was a whole mess. But she tried to imply that which is bullshit. Because later on I did end up dating someone who I knew was HIV. And you know what I mean? I for completely protected sex.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't be with someone. This is at the time when his medication took over. His body came. Motherfucker was bodied out. He was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew going into that.
Mm.
Because then that's a weird reality when you are not, and I don't know you guys' status. I don't know if you guys have talked about that before, but I mean, have you dated someone? I
Yeah.
mean, I know I
Listen.
fucked a
Yes.
lot of people that maybe it was I fucked being high.
Mm-hmm.
I know I fucked a lot of people.
So were you spiritual? Because people like you, God have a lot of protection around you. You know what I'm saying? Because when you be out here wild and doing your thing, and listen, you get to escape the disease. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Right,
know, and back then I don't realize we got to realize that the medications weren't the same as they are now, where people walk
right,
around undetectable and you know can still do stuff.
right.
Um, are you spiritual at all? Do you talk to God? Do you have a relationship with God?
Um, no, I'm
Okay.
not.
No,
I
okay.
mean, my beliefs are, um, I don't know. I'm kind of more of a evolutionist, I guess I would say. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't, I kind of feel that this is it. I feel like, I feel like, you can read a book that's 5,000 years old. You can do some religion that's 15,000 years old. But what about Lucy, before they were even talking, where was religion then? Was there heaven or hell then before they even were talking? When the Neanderthals, did they go to heaven or hell? Is there a devil or is there, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in this puppeteer in the sky controlling your life. I believe it's
Mm-hmm.
your life, it's your destiny. I think you get one chance and this is it. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't live for some afterlife. I believe it's like click lights out. If somebody
Mm-hmm.
just like that motherfucker who got shot and that fucking neck blew out.
Yeah.
That, the sad thing is that I wish the motherfucker would have knew he got shot before he died. But the way that blew his motherfucking neck out, he died instantaneously.
Yeah. He
Cause
had
that,
to.
Mm-hmm.
you
He
know.
had to.
But I think it's just lights out.
So you don't believe in
Mm-hmm.
a heaven
Oh
or a
no,
hell?
no,
Okay.
I just
Okay.
don't believe it. I don't believe it.
So
So what
so
do
so would
you?
you consider yourself an atheist?
I hate the word because it just has some bad connotation to it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I would like to say non-believer.
Okay.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because atheist almost is a thing itself. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? So it's like, do the cows that we eat, they go to heaven or hell? They have souls too. They're like 90% of our DNA. The trees are fucking 80, 90% of our DNA. I think all
Okay.
this dirt that's out here, this dirt is just humanity on top of humanity on top of it, you know what I mean? In 1,000 years, New York would be dust and no one would ever knew that it existed. Because all that shit,
Mm.
the humans left, it would just rust and turn into dirt. That's what ashes to ashes, dust to
Dust to
dust.
dust.
So
So
Mm.
that's
your
just my
husband
thing.
mentioned. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I just don't. I just stop. I wanted to play the game of, oh, I'm spiritual. So I don't believe in none of this shit. I just
So
don't.
what do you subscribe to? What do you go for peace or when you need
Mm-hmm.
understanding or when there's something that you want to call into your life, where do you go for that?
Um, I go to my family. I go to my brother. I go to with me and him. I have a very, very close relationship. He's extremely smart.
Okay.
He understands me. He understands a lot. You know, and I mean, for peace. I mean, this is what I don't like. I don't like when someone says like, "Oh, I got through school." Like they say, "God got me through school." No, you got yourself through the school. Give yourself the credit. You can say God did it and so whatever, but you have to give yourself credit. If you made it through college,
Mm-hmm.
if you made it to this career, if you make X amount of money, it's not God gave you that. You want to say, "Oh, I did into this." No, but you made it happen. You did
Mm-hmm.
what it takes to get there. I did what it takes to get here. I don't know if you remember Ricardo Clay. He used to live in Atlanta and he ended up going to Kansas and stuff. He was a very close friend of mine. And this is towards the end of my sex work in my mid 40s and stuff. And he said, Terry, I see why this I was really just doing drugs and stuff and I just couldn't maintain. He was like, I know you're upset because you don't know how this is gonna end. And I did. I didn't know how my shit was gonna end. I'm too old to be home. They cutting out back page. Everything's gone. It's hard to turn tricks. I'm giving the dope man money. He's driving
Mm-hmm.
around a nice car. I got shit. You know. Then I just collapsed. and then I seen somebody online who was kept talking about his recovery, and I said, he has a year, he's a year and a half, he has that. I said, I want to get there, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And so this one lady said to me, she said that I saw this thing. She said, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, you know.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I like
one bite
that.
at a
Say that
time.
again. Say that
How do
again.
you eat an elephant? One bite at
One
a
bite at
time,
a time.
you know. And
Wow.
they say, where do you
Yeah.
begin? At the beginning. Just start. That's where you
Just
begin. At the beginning. You know, and so that's
mm,
what I just do. You know, and I know people. Some people they can't deal with. They think like, oh, you're like some demon or something because you don't have any beliefs and stuff. I mean, I just don't, and I'm not a bad
Mm-hmm.
person, and I
mm.
don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't. That's just not. I just don't think it exists.
So what was that defining moment that made you quit sex work and want to go to rehab or do something about the drug addiction?
Um, Talking to my brother, I had him fly me out to San Francisco to stay with him, and I tried to detox myself there, and ended up going downtown and going to get some dope from this bitch who's walking around barefoot in the fucking tent, going to other tents in San Francisco to get drugs. I said, "What the fuck?" She pulled out a needle with her blood in it and said, "Do you want?" I said, "Bitch, are you crazy?"
Mm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know. And so then I just flew home and I said, I'm sorry. And then I just collapsed. And then my rent was due. My brother and sister took care of it and they cleaned my shit up for like 2 months. And I just, I went for like a week. Then I just went home and I stopped, you
You
know?
said that was it.
That was it.
That's
How long
yeah.
have
That's
how
really
long
interesting
have it been
because my
since?
sister did. My sister just because she was a hardcore crackhead.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
one day she came to our house and her and my mom got into it. And my mama told her, she said, "If you do this again," she says, "I'm done with you." And
Mhm.
from that day forward, she never did crack again. She just said,
Wow.
"I'm done
I
with you."
find that
How
so
old was she?
fascinating.
How old
My
was she?
sister,
When
she
this
was in
happened?
her 40s. She was in her
See,
40s at this
now let me
point.
explain this to you, because this is what I do for a living. I do peer support. I'm a peer support supervisor. We do mental health and addiction recovery, and
Mhm.
so I'm past six in March 26th, past 6 years. So, and then I've been working for this agency for going on 5 years. Okay. So,
Mhm.
and it's a black woman. She owns the agency, and I'm like, I was like, employee number 23. She said, "We're down here." She said, "But as I come up, y'all gonna come up with me." Now, this black
Mm.
woman employs over 100 people in the state of Ohio. That
Wow.
bitch is not a small business. You know what I mean? She
Hmm.
and it's 90%. It's 85. It's 95% black, and 90% women, and 80% felons, and she paid
Mm.
felons a livable wage, you know.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, and so with seeing that addiction, people think the meetings and all that shit helps for some people, but those meetings you just talk about drugs constantly. And it's like, how do you move past that?
Mhm.
How do you start your life? Stop. Just, I don't want to listen to you talk about. We all have the same story. We all went too far. We all lost it all. We all had to restart. Okay. I don't want to hear this shit every fucking day. I
Hmm.
want to
Yeah.
start my life,
Yeah.
And most people
So,
age out.
mhm.
And that's what I did. Like 44, 40. That is the common denominator. The meetings and stuff, they have a shitty average, like 23%, something like that. Most of the people age out. You just get too old for the shit. In your 40s, you just kind of
so
say, damn, it's too much.
Yeah.
So Terry, let me ask you this then. From having a lived experience, we know that there are a lot of people in our community that are battling with some form of addiction.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, what advice would you give someone that no, two things that's battling the addiction but don't know how to start to get the help, and then for the people who know someone that's battling the addiction and they're trying to help that person or get that person to the help.
Well, okay. So this is how we do it too. And you have to really think of it like this. It's really Harm reduction. Everybody's path to recovery is different. And with
Mhm.
recovery, relapse does happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a thing. So you can't have somebody if I relapsed today and did some drugs, that doesn't mean that the past 5 years are thrown in the trash. Because they're not. You have that.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of it. And then you just have to make sure that you pull yourself, you cannot fall into the addiction. So everybody's path to recovery is different. And
Mhm.
first things that you have to do is get people stable. If they don't have proper living and food and stuff, they can't worry about their teeth, which is killing them.
Mm-hmm.
This sore on their back. This, that they don't have no glasses. They can't even fucking see. If you don't have nowhere to go, you can't worry about that shit.
Mm-hmm.
People have to get stable, and and their path to recovery is everybody's path to recovery is different. Some I have clients that he said to me, he says, "I'm just going to use, and that's it. I don't want to hear it." I said, "Okay." He said, "And I'm going to work." I said, "Okay. How do you see that working? Do you see you doing meth every day and working? Does that you think those will go hand in hand? How do you see that?" That's what
Mhm.
I asked him. It's going to work. I said, "Okay, okay." You don't see it. You don't see. What I mean, you have to ask open-ended questions, and you can't judge. The
Mm-hmm.
last thing you can do. You know what I mean? I can't say, "Oh, they're nasty because you're doing," bitch, I did all that. So, you know what I mean?
So this is nonprofit work you do in the community?
No, it's not nonprofit. I mean, we get paid for it. We have
Okay.
clients that we get paid for it. We do peer support. And
Okay.
so we support them in their recovery journey. We get them to their
Mm-hmm.
appointments, get them to meetings, get them to
Mm-hmm.
outpatient, you know, get them housing, get them to a pantry,
Okay.
get them some food. You know
Well,
what I mean?
thank you for doing that type of work.
That's
My
what you
mom,
do.
Yes, absolutely.
my mama battled with addiction too, and she's
Yeah.
65 and
Yeah.
she love her crack. You know what I'm saying? I don't
It,
bother her much with it because
well, I
it's
mean, you
what
know
she
what?
want to
It's
do.
part of her journey.
It's her journey.
That's just who she is. You know what I mean? It'll come when it comes. You know what I mean? And you can't beat her up for it and stuff, and you can't judge. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
Because that's her thing.
That's her thing.
That's her thing.
Mhm.
I mean, do you want her judging your life? I remember when my brother, I was out home and I was like 16, 17, and I found out my brother was selling crack in the projects. And I told my mom, I said, "Mom, you need to stop Wesley. He is selling crack." And she was like, "You can't tell him how to be a man. He can't tell you how to be a woman, be what you're doing." You know what I mean? Like, you gotta let it be. And that was his
Mhm.
journey. You know what I mean? So he became, what I mean? We both went down me and him were the ones.
Yeah,
He became the crack dealer, and ended up dealing a lot of crack, cooking it up, going to California, bringing bricks. Like he got big time, so that's what we knew.
that's what you know.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So
Wow.
speaking,
A
but
part of that.
so speaking of addiction, there's Continental. You get on
Hmm.
that stage for the first time. Tell us about your experience as your first time entering Miss Continental, because that's the pageant most girls want to go to.
Hmm. Um, it it I used to love it. I really did. I
Mm-hmm.
really did. I really did because I loved the crowd. The crowd loved me. You know what I mean? I was just part of the. You know, um, I was one of the girls,
Mm-hmm.
like with Taji and
Mm-hmm.
Nicole and stuff, and we were the girls that probably shouldn't or wouldn't have at the time. Taji had a lot of baggage. Especially with Jimmy. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? She had a lot of baggage and stuff because she was a Chicago girl and she didn't take any shit, her and Nicole and stuff. And so, when I won, I was one of the girls, so I would do Continental and then I would be like, okay, we going to Hydra, we going to Flame Show. We go to the town for a minute, it was split.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go to the Black Club and stuff. You know what I mean? So that's what Continental was. It was something. I hate the way they do the top five now. I hate it because he used to do fourth runner up, third, and that two-person hand holding moment used to be glorious.
Yes.
Because you would stand there with that girl, and it's just you and her, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just me and Chelsea or Pearl. And she's like, oh God, oh God. I'm just like listening to her. But I think like, bitch, you done put everything on the stage. You done answer that question, everything. I was like, bitch, I don't know. You may have did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they called Chelsea a person her up, and then I did it. It was a moment.
It was a moment.
Cause
And what was your
Chelsea,
year like?
it was a year. You know what I mean? It was the same shit that everybody, we went to prelims and traveled. And this one, you had so many prelims. And then they would
Mm-hmm.
book you, like you go to St. Louis, you would do like the whole weekend and then the prelim. You know what I mean? And go to Texas for 5 days. Or went to Puerto Rico for a week with Nina Flowers. She had a pageant. It was a great time. And Jimmy was younger. You know this. Y'all ever heard the story of Erica Christian stealing my purse, stealing my money at the baton?
Oh, that was you.
That was me.
Oh, come on. Come on with it. Come
You
on
don't
with
know
it.
about that?
Come on. I heard about a purse stealing in the
Yes,
Continental
Erica
Plus, but I didn't
Christian.
know who it was.
Me. It's
Wow.
Erica Christian.
Oh my
So had a Continental Plus prelim at the baton, had a stack of money. The promoter came down, gave me $300. And I put the $300 bills, I put the money, Erica's like, here, girl. I said, no, I got it, girl. So I tried to put the money away, but I had to go on stage. So I slid the money in my purse and slid the things to the side. We were downstairs at the baton in the basement. And you
Mm.
used to could go up this way too and go out the back door. And here's the stage. So it's 2 entrances. Okay. Um, so I went on stage, did my number. Sure as shit, I came back. My purse is gone. Erica kept laughing, came back. Well, I don't know. I said, this bitch done stole my fucking purse. I said, my purse is gone. So Jimmy comes down there. Jimmy's tripping. He's like, yeah, and Erica, she splits. And Jimmy gets furious, and he because he was this little coach bag. What kind of person? I said, "It's this little coach purse and stuff." So he was gonna go out and get this coach purse and everything else, but he told Lady Ashley he's borrowing her, he's borrowing everybody. Erica can forget it and stuff, and then miraculously, Lady Ashley gets my purse and Erica gives it back. I talked to Erica Christian herself. She told me she in fact did steal my purse. She said and this is the words out of her mouth. She said she would went one Continental Plus. They was giving me all this glory and stuff. She didn't get all that when she read rain. I said, Erica, I looked up to you. You was the first plus that I've even seen you won in Cleveland. You know what I mean? I looked
Mm-hmm.
up to her. I was hurt. I was
Mhm.
Yeah.
gonna beat her motherfucking ass too. I was gonna beat that bitch up.
Well, did the
What
money come
stopped
back or was
you?
it just the purse?
No, some of the money came back.
Not all.
No, not all, just the purse.
So
Some of the
did that
money
break
came
up?
back,
So did
and
that put a wedge between y'all?
like I said, he Jimmy barred her for a couple of
Oh.
years, and then I actually said, just let it go, let her come back and stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because like I said, she explained it. I did. It still don't understand why you stole my fucking money. You know what I mean? Why you stole my purse? I mean, what the fuck were you thinking? Right?
So,
What the
so
fuck were
Terry,
you thinking? You
Terry, so
stole
you
my
didn't you
goddamn
didn't
purse.
whoop her out of respect. That's the only thing
Child,
that kept you from whooping her was the
Jimmy was right
respect you
there, and
had
Jimmy
for
said,
her.
"Do not, do not." I said, and that bitch, she started loud mouthing. I was like, "Bitch, you know you took my." Jimmy said, "Terry." I said, "Okay," because I was the
Huh?
reigning plus at the time.
Uh-huh.
I was
Uh-huh.
reigning, and the plus sister still my friend. That is unreal. That's like unthought of, right? You would never even
Yeah.
think that did even happen.
And at this time, y'all was like the only two black plus queens that were, wasn't
No, What's his name that won already? Victoria.
Oh, Victoria. Okay. Oh, Victoria.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That
because
is
Then
so
Victoria
funny.
crowned. Was that Taj? No, Dina crowned Santana.
Okay. I
Then
remember watching
Santana.
Santana's year. I used to have
Santana
a
was a motherfucker. That bitch was a motherfucker. I'm gonna tell you that much.
what kind of motherfucker?
Woo, that was a shrewd, dirty bitch. That was a dirty bitch to her motherfucking core. I
What
tell you what, that was a dirty bitch.
what did she do? Give us an
In what
Child.
example.
way?
So during
Tell
her
us a
step down,
story.
so you remember Santana used to have the beaded dresses. She was like one of the
Oh,
Braxtons down
the
in Florida.
regalias, baby.
Santana had the motherfucking gowns. So she had took me and another queen in Ohio had she we sent her sketches and stuff, measurements and stuff. She was gonna have these gowns made. Send her $1,000. She's reigning. We send her this $1,000 and waiting and waiting. And then kind of find, and so we're asking, and it's getting close to her step down. I'm like, this bitch stepped down. We ain't getting our motherfucking money back. So I was like, I'm going, cause so I already had a backup gown, but I was like, I kind of didn't want to say nothing. I forgot. Ashley Simone said, "Fuck that," and called Jim Flint. Jim Flint called Santana, said, "If you do not give those two, because we were coming to plus, our money back, you will not step down."
Mm.
Because the gowns didn't exist.
Did you
She
get your
said,
money back?
she gave us our motherfucking money back. She sure did.
Wow.
She fucking gave motherfucking money up.
And they were saying the year that she won that she didn't even make the 12. Some girl was late to registration, which bumped her into the
Bumped her
12.
back into it, and I think Dream Girls and them they put her together. This is when Linda Eder first came out, and she
Uh-huh.
did, and she was phenomenal that year.
Yes, she was. I
She
used to I
from
used to have
Florida
that
High School.
VHS.
Yes,
Yes.
Santana was phenomenal that year. She
Yes.
sure was.
I heard some stories about her too.
Santana was a motherfucker. She was a shrewd bitch. I'm not kidding you. Santana, Santana lived on the track in Florida,
Yeah.
where my daughter Mulan lives in that house to this day, where the hostro is on Orange Blossom Trail and stuff in
Mhm.
Orlando.
Okay.
And
Hmm.
Santana had that house first. She would just stand outside her house to her and turn tricks.
Mm.
But remember,
Savannah did? Santana did?
Santana did. Yes, she did. But remember, in Santana's year, when she answered her question, she did the all exposing herself with her status.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, she was like,
I
I
remember
just
that.
that I need to take my medicine and this, that, and the other. And so remember Santana had it gave her whole tea.
Mhm.
She gave her whole tea that year.
So what does continental mean to people? Why do people think that's the biggest, grandest system? What does
You
it
know
mean?
what? Because because you know what? So I started going to USA at large because I heard they had a most beautiful plaque. And I
Mm-hmm.
and I went to USA at large and I got that motherfucking most beautiful plaque. I got it 2 years in a row. Okay. And so um and then Continental is just known to be the beauty pageant, the trans girls. I knew early on because I transitioned that I could not be a part of America. And
Mm-hmm.
America's very strong in Ohio. Very strong. America's older
Hmm.
than gets gay like Ohio. America's just Miss Gay Ohio. America just celebrated 50 years. Fox was one of them and stuff. Like they have a very long legacy. So I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't be a part of that. But then seeing the Continental World, and then you start watching TV and you see, we go to Chicago and you come back and see Monica Monroe and Mimi and Cezanne and them on Maury Povich or Jared Springer, remember? Back in the days, I didn't mother more public shows, mother man and woman shows, and that. More
Trent, is that me?
Are we
Trent, you
back?
there? No, yeah, we're there, but
Can
I
you hear
think
me?
yeah, something happened with her connection.
I thought it was my connection. I was like, it was
Well,
going
yeah,
out. Let
I
me
didn't,
back
yeah, I
on.
didn't know what was going on. Yeah, and then bring her back in.
Go on back. Yeah. Mm.
Um, can 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 y'all hear me? Am I still here with you all? Oh, she was feeling too much tea. Okay, but am I still
Y'all,
active
we
with you?
having
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm still active with you.
technical
Yeah,
difficulties.
there's some testicle difficulties going on. Are you back, Trent? You're
You
still
back? I
somewhere.
see you.
Okay, yeah. We
Am
got
I
you.
working?
Yeah, you're work. Move your head. Okay, yeah, yeah. You're here. Okay.
Okay.
Listen, we'll see if we can get Terry back.
Baby Terry got some stories for us. I love it.
Baby, yeah, that 100%.
Hello.
Tell the man
sorry, it's the
said you need to
goddamn
come up
what's
out
it
of
called?
there.
This thing went on me. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. That's so. So what was I telling you?
You were telling
We
us
were talking.
about the grandness of Continental and what makes
Yeah,
Continental
yeah.
Continental.
I mean, it was. I mean, you like I said, you seen the girls on stage. I mean, uh, you know who was like super impactful? Okay, Mimi had her mark and stuff, and I just saw Jimmy have that anniversary show. Mimi was out there, and
Hmm.
Jimmy was like, "Oh, Tasha, these girls made the baton." Mimi was part of it. Monica Monroe put a stamp on drag that cannot ever be changed. They're still replicating her black and white dress with the puffy sleeves, and
Hmm.
Monica Monroe had an edge and a fierceness about her and a grandness that was just beyond.
Shout out
You
to
know.
shout out to Monica. She don't come back now. I guess she married. When you get married with children, baby, you ain't got time to come back.
Yeah, you know what I mean. She stepped away. She, you know what I mean. She did her thing. You
So
know what I
so
mean. She
so
was
you.
a dirty bitch. She was a motherfucker too. I'm telling
Oh.
you, that bitch.
So,
Listen, I'm telling you, she mean girls. So many motherfucking girls that didn't make any goddamn sense.
what?
Monica Monroe was the definition of mean girl. Yes, and
Wow.
she was the drug girl. So you get to
Oh.
Chicago and you go to the Baton and she give you some coke, and then you buy the coke from her. She had the hookup.
She had
Wow.
the
Yes,
so all of this. So with all of this, so with this past week, Trent's past interview. So the things that are circulating about Continental and how Jim is, how Skip is, how Dana
I
is.
love how
Do you
Cheyenne. I love how
find
Cheyenne
that
went
to
in.
be
Huh?
okay? So you find that to be true, or what are
Yeah.
your thoughts on
Um.
all of that? Can you validate
Um.
any of the things?
You know what? Okay. So with my, I like to call it retransition because I am. You see, I
Hey,
remove my
Chevelle.
breast. I'm detransitioning. Um. So I'm never doing drag ever again. I have no
Never
desire to ever hit the stage ever again.
again.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And with that being said, because I have nothing else to prove, I have nothing else to do. Doing
Mm-hmm.
another show is not going to give me anything. I've done
Mm-hmm.
a million.
Mhm.
My sister asked me, let's go to this speakeasy. We can dress up for your birthday. I've dressed up in every costume that you can imagine, every period, every, genre of Chinese, I did those looks. It doesn't intrigue me to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so, with that being said, I think it's time. You get to speak your truth, and I'm going to speak the truth. I don't know what the fuck Jimmy's doing, especially with this honorary thing. That's some fucking bullshit. And that was one of the first things that people got worked at that I said when I
Mm-hmm.
said, how did Allison Thomas get the thing? There
Mm-hmm.
wasn't nothing against Allison Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
But then he wanted to jump in, and then people wanted to jump in, and then Allison Thomas paid. She did spend a lot of money. Who didn't spend a lot of money? Okay. Okay, Allison Thomas also did a lot of dirt with some of the contestants, and there was a lot of grievances up with her. Okay. So I said, what? So what's the price? So what? So you kiss the ring long enough, you pay Jimmy, is that how you get an honorary? Because from what I've
Mm-hmm.
seen, I think it's bullshit that you gotta die and all of a sudden you get this honorary shit. Who the fuck needs it when you're dead?
Mm-hmm.
Junior Manchester don't need it. She didn't want it when she was here. She's dead. So why the fuck, you know what I mean? He what? Gave it to Kitty later when she died during the weekend. All of a sudden she gets an honorary as you give Allison Thomas one. I mean, what about the Paula Sinclairs who was getting cutting the five? You know what I mean? Back in the day, you know what I mean? The bitches who been did the work. Paula's
Mm-hmm.
still out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
Shout out to
think
Paula.
Paul, you know, what I mean, I think that I'm just saying, not saying Allison doesn't deserve it, but I'm saying, aren't there others that deserve it first, Jimmy? I
Yeah.
don't know. I just don't know.
Did you have a relationship with Jim Flint?
I did. I mean, we had a good, we didn't have like a, you know what I mean? We had a hello, we talked, you know what I mean? Jimmy always liked me because the crowd liked me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
So,
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean? I was a crowd favorite.
Yeah.
Because I was one of the plus girls that, you know what I mean, that like what plus would be, you know what I mean, if it
Mm-hmm.
was continental, you know what I mean? Not every, would mirrored continental.
Let me
Some
tell
of us
you,
plus girls mirror like the continental girls, as
yeah.
plus.
Yeah, and you speaking of being outspoken, you are very outspoken, and I'm an outspoken person too.
Hmm.
But something rubbed your gears, grinded your gears, and you was
Hmm.
like, "I'm sick of this ponytail. If
Okay,
this
and
bitch
what?
don't
Okay,
take this fucking ponytail off
right.
and act like a Miss Continental, she better." What prompted you to make that post?
Okay, let me tell you something. So it was hot. I just bought a house and I got shareware
Congratulations.
because it's just a duplex and I'm moving shareware. And Lisa, my best girlfriend, calls me. She wants to get. Can you find your Mariah wig? I'm gonna do
Mm-hmm.
this new Mariah. So I'm searching, digging, so I can get to this damn brush to give her this Mariah wig. And I see, and mind you. Now, some of the people that was running their motherfucking mouth after I did the post had already said behind closed doors all this bullshit that she just, yeah. First, they were trying to read, because if you look at that picture, when she was crowned, her and Danielle Hunter had the same sheen dress on. Danielle just had it on in the short. Did you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I mean, this was a lackluster year. Let's just be honest. Okay. And I mean, it wasn't, but like I said, she's not the Raquel, what the 30-year-old Raquel had to say to this Raquel, you know what I mean? It would be different, so her reign is different because she's older, you know what I mean? And I've seen this point. It wasn't like the ponytails that became a thing because I think sometimes when you, like Cheyenne, when you text the stuff, the sentiment comes out different.
Mm-hmm.
Some people take it the wrong way, and some people took it as an opportunity to take shots at me
Okay.
and run their mouth. Some people who obviously never supported you, they just wanted to say something. So when I did a live, I had time. Every comment, I went in. Let's go. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Because
you feel that you feel that your post was misinterpreted, or did it
I
not,
mean,
or it
I
didn't
think that
translate the way that you really meant it?
yeah, yeah. I meant like give me more. It wasn't like she's not, you know what I mean? Like not, you know what I mean? She won the pageant. I
Mm-hmm.
was just, you know what I mean? I like Raquel. We have no relationship. We were Tennessee at the same time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I mean, we don't have like a relationship like that. You know what I mean? So I mean, but I know her and I've seen her from afar. You know, I mean, and I've seen, and so I had just, like I said, I turned on Facebook and I seen her do this Mariah in this just black ponytail. So it was like you're not even trying. When I'm here digging for Lisa because she's doing the same song on the same day, digging for this because
Mm,
she wants this Mariah hair that I have because
mm-hmm.
I'm just giving my shit away. Um, and I was like, girl, I don't know why. I just texted it, just posted it just
You
because I was,
texted before because yeah.
huh?
So
And
so you
just like
so
I,
so
go
mhm.
ahead.
So you feel like it was kind of a mistake post, something that you didn't
No,
really mean
I
to.
mean, no, I mean, I said what I said. I mean, I was just like, just give me more. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm sick of this stuff. I mean, the ponytail. I mean, I just was like, I mean, because we had just seen it. We seen it in everywhere, just this bun thing. You know what I mean? And they want to leave it to Sunny, leave it to the white woman to come in and swoop and try to make some money. Okay, I tell you that I have this ponytail gig, but I mean, they don't support. You know what I mean? The kids,
Mm-hmm.
they just, it's just buffoonery.
Did you? But besides the ponytails and the, did you feel like she did a great job at Continental? Because we in a different time
We
as it
are in
pertains
different
to
time.
pageant.
We are in
And
different time.
yeah, and the pageantry just ain't the same no more. It's
It's
you
not.
know,
It's
people are
everything
not
never changed.
participating because of the queen, but it's so many other things. It's like you say, just for you going back as a farmer, it's very expensive. You know
It
what I'm saying?
is.
It's expensive to go around the country doing this,
It
and it's
is.
expensive to even go watch because it's $85 a night for a
Yes.
ticket. So did you feel
Yeah.
like she did a great job at all?
I mean, how many prelims was it? Like three, five, something like that. Then all of a sudden, Christian from Texas, he don't mind. He don't mind. He said, "How many were appointed?" I mean, it's like, where's these numbers at, Jenny? Why did you even start this newcomer thing? What the purpose of that? You split the difference now. Everybody,
Mm,
we newcomers, we just got in the rat race and you got into you till you won, like the queen that won this year. You know what I mean? She did it, and lost until she won.
nonsense.
You know what I mean? So with this newcomer thing, that's a fucking disaster, you know? And I think they lost elite a long time ago. Elite is not what it was supposed to be.
Mm. What
When
do
they
you think
start
they lost
crying,
it at?
when they start crying informers,
Right.
should have
Right.
never let any of the formers do it.
Yeah.
Because you know what happens? Their year was shit because they already did it.
Yeah.
So no former that ever reigns again ever has a great reign. It just doesn't happen. When you double
Okay.
dip in the system, it just doesn't happen. It's never
Mm,
as good as the first time. It's just not.
yeah. Because I would have loved to see Sherry Payne that year
Yes,
win Elite that year. That would have really been something great
yes,
for her. Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
It gets like that. But
The people
so
that should have been able to do it. Like I said, I did a post about Jasmine. I knew that that was a setup.
yeah.
I knew that was a setup. You
Mm-hmm.
get you, and the thing is that this is where I lost it. You're the queen. You're in Chicago. You ain't got nobody to do this motherfucking pageant.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, the queens will kind of make sure who's doing this pageant. Make sure
Mm-hmm.
somebody's coming. You got
Mm,
zero contestants. So then you got to turn to a judge and say, "Oh, that's why don't we send you back?" She gets caught up in the moment. She's not the same Jasmine that she was. We're all older.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm in
Mm-hmm.
reverse. You know, and people take shots with that because I'm slimmer. But as we get older, most of us gain weight. We do. That's just what happens. You get older
Mm-hmm.
and you gain
Trust me,
weight.
I know.
It just happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I said, because I had a gastric, I'm in reverse still, so I'm at 150 fucking pounds.
So you had gastric. At what point did you think to get gastric? Because you was a full size, voluptuous, beautiful,
Right,
like this queen. We always saw you come out and your titties was the thing, like especially at the
right,
opening. The titties do what they do, but
right.
you always been like this super gorgeous. Like you had the face of like a JB back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So what made you go have the gastric? You had the gastric sleeve or the bypass?
I had the one time I went down to Mexico and got this fucking um, lap band. That was a total disaster, total waste. And then I had it, and it was doing just a lot of choking to me, but I was still gaining weight. But then I had a really bad knee.
Mm,
I needed a knee replacement, and they wouldn't do it because of my BMI.
Okay.
because they're like, it's your weight over with BMI over 40, you're gonna tear this motherfucking new knee up in no time
Mm.
with all this weight on it. So I did the gastric to get me down to do the knee. But my knee was, you ever seen the big girls and they tall and the knee bend in like that?
Mm-hmm. Not needed
Mm-hmm.
towards yeah.
Yeah, kind of not. That's that's like collapse in there. So that's how mine had went. The whole joint system.
Mm.
So after I got to get, he straightened it out, and then with the gastric, I did. I had saved money, and then at one point I just said I'm spending all this money. So I went and I did. I had all this excess skin. I got pictures and videos. I had a whole apron, a whole flap of skin.
Mm.
I did a tummy tuck and I did an arm lift. He cut all the skin off my arms, so I don't have the. Then I did a
Mm-hmm.
thigh thing. He cut and did my inner thighs, pulled them in, you know. And so then I had been thinking about getting my breast off because just like I was saying, rocks. They were like, now I had no fat in there. They were just like, they call it like
Silicone.
rocks, socks, like rocks in a sock. That's
Rocks
what
and stuff.
they were, just big and they were awful. And so I wanted them gone.
So did that prompt the detransitioning? Because
No, you know,
what take us there. Take us what prompted you in your
that,
mind and say, I want no more of this being Terry.
okay, you know what it was? Okay, so Black America Weekend.
Mm-hmm. What year?
So this year,
Okay.
okay, I'm down there helping Lisa, helping her do the pageant. I'm watching the whole thing. Now, mind you, this is between us.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I knew. This is how I said this about Jasmine. I seen her get upset and blow up and cry and leave and go and not do Black America. I
Mm-hmm.
seen that. So I knew that she was probably going to not be as prepared as, you know what I mean? Because she's been out the game for a while. She split. She was pissed and she left crying in tears. First, they begged her to come back in. She waited. She said, y'all got to do, he got to do y'all makeup too? And she said, oh, fuck that. And she left. So I saw that. And then I was talking with Lady Deception. Lady Deception was doing her 30-year anniversary. She's got this fucked up knee and hip and all this bullshit. And she was like, this is probably about gonna be my last number, last show. Then I
Mm.
started thinking about that. Wow, that's something, And then I got home, me and my partner was split up, and then the house on 31st went in my name, and then April 1st was Trans Day of Visibility. I was just sitting
Mm-hmm.
there at the house, and I just woke up without him and stuff, and I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I said,
Mm.
I don't. I said, you know what? I said, why am I still doing what I've been doing? I've been doing this 35 years. It's not working no more. You know what I mean? I don't want to do this anymore.
Mm.
I already didn't want the breast, but
Did you not feel feminine anymore? Did you not feel
no,
beautiful to yourself anymore?
I still felt, you know what? I just kept looking in the mirror and I see, this is what I seen in
Mm.
Black America. I seen these young queens, seen the young, beautiful queens.
Mm-hmm.
I seen Jimmy. I was right by Jimmy. Seen everybody come up, kiss the ring. Everybody walked up to Jimmy in the back and kissed the
Mm-hmm.
motherfucking ring. Okay. And then I seen some older queens about my age in a stretched, slut dress, just silicone, heavy, the face just, droopy and stuff, because she had a lot of work and stuff. And she's walking with and keeping up with the younger girls.
Who was that?
I don't know who she was, but it just looked sad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because
She
Her
froze.
Wi-Fi went out. Yeah, yeah. She don't went out. It's just
How
it's
can
really interesting because
how
Go ahead.
how
Go
can
ahead.
you hear how can you hear started shit? Don't you make me. But you saying it's very interesting. What
Yeah, interesting because you have a lot of people that are well not there are just quite a few people that are detransitioning,
mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
so it would just
I,
it would be really interesting just to hear what she had to say, what prompted
Yeah,
her
we're gonna get a bit.
to make that final decision, because I mean that's a major decision. I mean
It's
it's a major
huge.
decision to do it in the first place, but
Uh-huh.
then
And
to
it takes a lot
go
of
and then
courage.
everybody, mhm, but then you decide, okay, now I'm going back this way. So I would just really love to hear whether it was just a career based decision, or did she feel
Mm-hmm.
that that it was just not the life for her anymore, that
Yes.
that she wanted to live her life as a male again, or whatever. Or maybe it was over, she seemed to be very, Mother Earth into, but she said
Mm-hmm.
she's not a spiritual person. So was it a
Yeah.
return back to what I was in the beginning? So I just would love to, because everybody has their reasons,
Everybody
so
has
because
a
some
reason
people,
and
hmm
yeah.
yeah, because it's
Mm-hmm.
because some people say that they only did it, that they didn't really do it to transition to be a trans person. They did it because they wanted to do it for stage. A lot
Yeah.
of people, you hear a lot of people say that, and so it would just be really interesting to hear, what was the. And then I
Yeah.
also want to ask the question that she met her partner, her
Yeah.
husband, as a trans woman. So then when she decided to
Yeah.
detransition,
The
did
detransition.
they have that did they have that conversation together, and what was that conversation? What was that conversation like? So it'll
Mm.
be
I would love for her to come back in. I'm waiting on her to come back in now. Yeah.
right. You're right,
What?
Jay. Most people who do it for competition purposes and
Yeah.
for the
I know that.
stage.
I know that to be. I know that to be true too, Jay. Jay Quinn. Shout out to Jay Quinn. But I know that
Maybe
to be true too. But what I was going to ask you, I had a question in my head, Dominique. Oh yeah, and we go back. You remember she said she transitioned at what 15?
15, 16.
So she's detransitioning around what 49 before she turned
She
50,
said
yeah,
she
or
said she
what.
said she just turned 50, so yeah, about 49.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that hold on. Okay, I think she's back in. Okay.
It's this goddamn cord. I got a better one. Sorry. I should.
Oh
It's hot. It's on fire because I'm on fire.
yeah, yes, you are.
It's okay. I
Hey
got it.
Cheyenne Valentino.
Hey,
Um,
Hey,
son.
Shane.
Thank you for your
But
gift.
what
She
we
said
want,
that you was here, Tommy.
so
Go
so
ahead.
what we wanted to follow up with was, so your decision to detransition was based off of you no longer wanted to be on stage, or was it that you wanted to go back to living your life as a
Okay.
male? Which one
Okay.
was it?
You know what? The thing is that actually I never lived as a man. So when I first went to get papers to get on hormones and to get my to start, the psychiatrist didn't know what to say, and he went and asked the other doctor. And he came back. He said, "When you have sex, does it feel like a man and a man or a man and a woman?" And I said, "It feels like a man and a woman." He's like, "Okay." So then that was like, So I've never had a mustache to mustache moment, a beard to beard. I want him moment. If they wanted this, like I want to suck her
Mm-hmm.
dick, I want her to fuck me. You know what I mean? It
Mm-hmm.
was it was her. You know what I mean? Attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never lived as a man or male
Okay.
presenting. Okay.
Okay.
And this is what's okay. So now I've lasered my face to hell and back, so I cannot get any hair on my face. Just can't.
mm-hmm.
Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
stopped shaving a long time ago. Like that day, I just stopped everything. Just stop makeup. Just said, stop everything. I said, okay, you're done. Then I have one of my husband's underwear. I started wearing this boy underwear and no boy clothes. You know what I mean? I just was like, because I just wanted to be different. I said, why keep doing this? I want a different type of mate. I want like no more of the boys that the trans girls get. The, I mean, like, I gotta make this nigga know, get your ass up here with me. You're not walking behind me. You're not being, if they're gonna say something, you're gonna be motherfucking with me. You're not gonna be with them. You know what I mean? So the man,
Mm-hmm.
he got to walk with me. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And so being a trans girl, this very slim pickings to get that type of man.
Mm-hmm.
He don't fuck you. They all want to fuck because you're a fantasy. You're not real. You're just a fantasy. They don't want to take you out. They want to fuck. You can go on any dating app. It's never like let's go to dinner or something. It's oh, I never did this before. You know what I mean? And never had nothing in my ass. It's that kind of bullshit. It is. It is. It's that. Oh, I never had nothing in my ass, before. They think I'm like, oh, I don't want some
Oh,
unpolished
Terry.
bottom. I mean, some bottom that just went to motherfucking rallies and had a big Buford. Now you want me to top you? Wait a motherfucking minute. You know what I mean?
Not the
Wait a
big
minute.
Buford. That was a
You
cheap
motherfucker,
day,
you wait a
Terry.
minute. I need somebody to know how to bottom.
Oh,
She said the
Okay?
fucking
I
big
need a person
Buford.
that come
Terry.
cleaned out. This motherfucker ain't ate nothing but watermelon. Okay? Shit, this motherfucker's clean. I can't get down with nothing. He thinks, oh, he never been fucked before. That is not a good thing.
No, no.
It's not a good thing.
So
Okay?
did you and your husband did y'all have this conversation together, or did you just go to him and just say,
No.
"This is what
No.
I'm doing"?
Because he was with his mama's house and stuff. And so then, like, his mama needed me to pick him up and stuff. So I went to his job and he comes to the car and I had a baseball cap on, I never wear a cap and stuff. And he's like, he comes to the car, he's like, I said, yeah, I'm DT. He said, I was wondering why you looking like a boy, and so we just I think our relationship kind of got better right after that.
Mm,
Really?
Yeah.
In what
mm,
way, Terry? So what do you feel was changed?
Um, because I released it. I'm no longer it's like dealing with him, like chasing him, like wanting, like you know what I mean. He who loves the most is the person that does the getting the love has the power. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean. So if you the one that's always doing the loving stuff, you the one that's fucked. You know what I mean? So I just
mm,
released it. I was like, and I said, I don't want this, and I don't want this type of man. I don't want the nutcases. I don't want the cleanup. I don't want the builder bears. And this is what we have to deal with. You know what I mean?
mm,
You got to
Mm-hmm.
build this nigga. I want somebody that's got a little something now.
mm-hmm,
I want somebody that's gay, that knows they're gay, and we're gay, and we're just gonna be fags, whatever fuck I'm gonna be. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And that's what I said it. I just I don't because I didn't want to have to do. I just start saying I don't have to do this facelifts, this facial films, get all this. Now I gotta gain some weight so I can do a BBL, get some fat transfer, try to get you know what I mean? And it was just like the list is going on and on. And where does it end? You never look good. Your face just looks pulled, right? It's not
yeah.
like all of a sudden you look 20 again. It's just your face just looks pulled.
So how do you identify now?
I mean, I don't, you know, to myself, it's crazy. Okay. Because I want to be male presenting.
Mm-hmm,
I want to be like that. But unfortunately, I mean, I don't know. Even with my breasts removed,
mm-hmm,
they're still sheing and mamming the fuck out of me. You know what I mean?
mm.
I get he and sir about 30, 40% of the time.
That is-
Mm-hmm.
How?
And it's like I cut my hair off, but I have no titties. My chest is flat as a fucking
mm,
board. You know what I
wow.
mean? I mean, it's just I don't understand how. Maybe if I had a mustache, it would work better.
Maybe because this is a new world for you.
It is
It's like you have to learn things all over
that I
again,
don't
right?
know because I was
That you
never
don't
a boy.
know because the
Right.
majority of your life has been a girl into a woman.
35 years
35 years.
Yeah.
of women's clothes, of women, of
Yeah.
feeling like a woman, of getting up and doing my makeup and doing my hair and stuff and feeling like a woman. And
Hmm.
it's crazy because out it, it's it's a new world. It's
Mm-hmm.
something different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
So
Yeah.
do you finally feel whole now? Now that this is all taking
dude.
place, are you finally feeling like, you know what? Not because sometimes when you let certain things go, whether it be relationships or jobs or whatever the case may be, there's just a peace that falls over you. You're just like, I don't give a damn about nothing anymore.
That's
So
exactly
is
what I'm
that
at.
where you are right
I
now?
am. I am. I'm telling you. I just when I released it, it just felt. You know what I mean? I remember No More Drama with Mary J. Blige. He's free from all the pain, free from all. You know what I mean? Free from all the stress. I just felt like I was just free. I said no more
Yeah.
makeup, and then I have a great job, and
Yeah.
so
Mm.
and it pays very well. And my boss, I could go in there and say I want to be a fucking banana, and they're gonna say, okay, Terry's gonna be a banana. you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I love it.
She
I love it.
she supports the fuck out of me.
Mm.
She's taken me to Jamaica, to Bahamas, to Usher in Vegas. You know what I mean? She's a damn motherfucker. She's a good woman.
And when you gain these friends throughout your lifetime, and people love the glitz and glamour. They love to hang on to the fact that you what my gay mama, my sister.
Right.
Have people treated you different because you detransition?
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I walked into this funeral the other day. I had a little man suit on, stuff like that. Here go my niece, Auntie. In my garden country. And then my sister, I go over to my sister, because this her husband's blood. So she says, this is my brother. She's supposed to be in the thing. She just got out of the hospital. You know what I mean? So it's still, but I'm still like, when you talk to yourself, self-talk, I'd be like, girl, you better get your ass up and go take these dogs for a walk. You know what I mean? Or
Mm-hmm.
come to mama. You know what I mean? That the dogs, I'm still the dog's mama. So I'm still transitioning in my head.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
that's
You know,
okay.
but this is the thing.
I get it.
Do you know how many girls my age that I see that
Hmm.
look like they're in pain? Big name girls
Mm-hmm.
that look like they just need that they just need to release it and let it go. I was talking with Dina Cass because she's wanting her breasts and stuff done and stuff. And she said it just like this. And she said, you know what? I'm not a man, I'm not a woman, I'm just me. I said, you know what, Dina? You are not your breast. You know what I mean? You could still be Dina Cass without them fucking titties.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Hmm.
what I
Are
mean?
they starting to get in her way or hurt or something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She said, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They all of us, if you get a lot of work done, there start to be complications. You're supposed to change that shit out after 20 something years and stuff, and then it gets, you know what I mean? I don't know what she's going through. I don't want to spill her tea or nothing like that,
Yeah.
but this is just what she just
Is
said.
that
She
an
said,
expensive surgery?
um, I have a good insurance, so
Okay.
I
Okay.
ended up only paying like out of pocket like $500.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
You have
yeah.
amazing insurance
You have
then.
amazing insurance. Yeah.
Yeah, but because my yearly deductible is 2,500, and they only charge you 500 for that. This for like some of the fees and stuff. I was just like, wow. But if you're on Medicaid or something like that, this shit they'll pay for it too. You just gotta go tell them that
Gotcha.
you want it done. Because they
Mm,
can't see through the shit. This is the problem. They'll give you the mammogram, they'll put your titty in, they'll smash it, and it hurts like fuck.
mm,
But they can't see through it. So then they'll give you
Mm.
this ultrasound. So they don't know if these lumps cancerous or what. They don't know what's in there. They can't
mm-hmm,
see it because it's just rocks and stuff. You know.
mm.
And he was able to save my nipple. I know a lot of girls that ended up having just the cut,
Yeah.
full mammogram, and then not having a nipple.
So, do you have sensation in your nipple?
No, this is still all numb right here.
It's still numb.
I still
Okay.
not hardly want to touch it that much. It's very numb. Yeah, it's very
Mm.
numb. See, it's
So
fucking
what?
flat. It's crazy, because I used to. Because now I wish I'd have thought of it. Because now everybody's doing it, but I always used to do deodorant underneath my titties, like down along
Mm-hmm.
my
Hmm.
here, down here. You know what I mean? To keep it, you know, fresh. Because deodorant would stop the sweat stuff. Now they're doing the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing. So when I get out of shower and stuff, I still get ready to. You
Mm-hmm.
think feeling like my breasts are there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just mentally. You know,
Yeah.
it's body dysmorphia. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah. It's
still
about you're
visioning.
still dealing with that. Do you get anxiety when you go out and face the world because you're a different person now?
No,
No anxiety.
none.
Just free. Free as a bird.
Real fuck.
just for
I
you
don't give
want
a
to fly
fuck.
away.
I want,
I
you know what
love
I
that.
mean?
Did you say you want to go? Did you say I want to go fuck?
Huh? What?
Did Did you say I want to go fuck?
No, 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 no.
Oh, I thought you.
No, listen, listen, listen.
I
This is
want
the
to go
thing too, though. You know what? I'm having problems with. See, I knew who I was sexually. I
Mm-hmm.
still know who I am
fuck.
sexually,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I used to know what I'm giving. Now I don't even know what I'm giving. You know what I mean? I see some
Mm.
gay man. He was really cute, and he kept running to me in the grocery store, and he kept staring at me and stuff. And I looked like shit because I was at Home Depot and I got paint on me and stuff like that. And he kept, and so then I was just like, I don't even know how to. If I was the girl, I wouldn't know how to handle him. I don't even know how to handle him.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah. It's just such a new lane
So
for you.
It is. It is. I
so is
haven't
it like going
understood
through
yet.
puberty again?
Yeah, yeah. It's really like I don't even know. You know, I stopped at this store called Christopher's, and this guy in there, he was about my size, and had a sharp suit, and he put me in some pants and these shirts and slim fit shirts and nice shirts, because I don't even know how to dress, as a man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I don't. So I'm gaining a wardrobe. I don't even know who I am.
Mm.
As male
Okay.
presenting. You know what I mean? It's new.
So let me ask you, did you have to go through any kind of counseling before you went through these surgeries and
No,
detransition? No.
no, no.
Okay.
The same surgeon that did all my skin stuff, I
Uh-huh.
went right back to him. Because
Okay.
he's known for his chest masculization surgery. So, the same way the studs they get and they'll do the line underneath so it looks almost like a pec instead of just cutting across.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
he did that for me so that when the
Okay.
scars, because they pinch the scars real tight and then
Okay.
they glue it. And then when the stitches dissolve after like a month or so, the
Terry.
they flattens. Yes,
What is your name now? Do we still call you Terry, right?
yes.
Okay. Okay. This Terry. Can you expose her goodbye letter to Terry Williams?
What do you mean?
Like you lived that life for 35 years and now you this Terry now.
Right.
How did you say goodbye to Terry? Take us through that moment. What did it mean to say goodbye to Terry Williams?
Um, it, you know what? I mean, I'm still, I think of it like Lisa, like her
Mm-hmm.
best friend for Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
I've called Lisa from the beginning. I lived as Lamar, right? I used to
Mm-hmm.
call her house her grandma would. I said, "Hey, can I talk to Lisa? Lamar, Terry, he on the phone." She used to call me. He want to know what time you gonna come pick him up. I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Okay, can you tell her that I'll be there at 3?" He said he'll be here at 3. Okay, this is her grandmother. So but I've
Uh-huh.
always called Lisa. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
I just like when I was talking about addiction, you don't throw away all those years that you had. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't throw away all
Yeah.
those years. I'm very proud of all those years.
Okay.
Very proud.
Yes.
You know what I
That's
mean? And
awesome.
at 50 was just a turning point. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't, do I want to do this for the next 25 years? Like I said, think about how many examples are there of girls to live, a trans girl,
Mm-hmm.
what, 55, what's 60,
Mm-hmm.
65, what's 70? We don't have that many examples.
Mm-hmm.
And I was an example for 35 years. I don't have to be a martyr for anybody.
Okay.
I don't. You know what I mean? And there's so many girls, I'm telling you, and they just don't know how to walk away. They think that they're stuck. And then the kids in the bars and stuff, they love the foolishness. They'll have you be the clown on stage. But were you going to the barbecue? No. Are you going to the Christmas party? Now I live out here in the gay area, in the nice, rich gay area. I'm gonna start going to the gay church. I want to go to the motherfucking cookout. I want to go to the Christmas party with the punks. Okay. I don't want to be the trans girl that they just left alone that they only wanted to have on stage and she's glamorous. And that's what they do to us.
Mm.
Think about it.
Mm.
Did the
That's
trans
what I
girls
mean.
even
That's a
how
really
long
good.
did we
We
even get
brought
this?
this up. We brought this up a little bit last night. So do you feel that there is a separation in how?
All day.
Okay.
Gay men have power. Listen, this is the fucked up thing. Because you are female or female presenting, they, men question every fucking thing that I know. And I'm fucking smarter than you, cocksucker. I told you to put it in like this. And you did it wrong. Now I have to redo it. You know what I mean? I know my shit. But because you are female presenting, they put women and make them like women are just fucking idiots. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
they discount women. I seen my dad do it to my mom when she was smarter than his stupid ass. You know what I mean? It just it happens. Women get discounted. That what they say, they just say, oh, she's like, no, you know, like she doesn't know what she's saying. She does. Y'all just because she's a woman. So you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But now as male, I get the benefit of the doubt. I know what
What's
I'm saying about this piece.
what's your proudest moment in life?
Um, I wanted this house. This house
Hmm.
is on the right side of the tracks. It's the worst house in the best neighborhood, and it's something I never thought I'd get.
Okay.
You know, it's cost a lot, but I'm making it happen. You know what I mean? It's I'm doing my dream kitchen. I mean, that's gonna be my proudest moment. Is that
Hmm.
not no stage shit, all that. You know, you think the stage don't mean shit. It
Hmm.
don't. You know what I mean? It can. You know, once you get your fill, what else can you get out of it?
Hmm.
Tell me, what else can you get out of it? What else do you gain by doing the show? Haven't you done every fucking thing? I mean, you know what I mean? Is there anything else to gain? Honestly, think about it.
Well, very interesting that you pose that question because I only do it maybe once every 3 months because it got to a point to where just like you said, I had my fill, and I was just like,
What?
yeah, it's like work
You don't have nothing
now.
to prove
But
anymore. I
but
mean,
the,
what else do you gain? What else
because
do you gain?
yeah, because there are some people that love the stage and they can't get a. But I know for me, I was like, I've had a great experience. It was a wonderful experience, but you know what? I'm on the other side of it to where I'm gonna gradually fade my way out. Unless
Right.
some
It's
young new things that are people
that's what
that are
I'm
excited
saying.
about it. Why don't y'all
Right.
come step in and take over? Because they
Right.
still are hungry and they still have this
Hmm.
love and passion for
That's
being
what
on
I'm
the stage.
saying.
I mean, I enjoy it every now and then, but as far as wanting to do it every weekend, day in and day out, I don't want to be back to that space.
No, you know, and I'm blessed to have like a good job, you know, that pays very well that I get that I'm very respected at. So you know, that that also gives me the ability just to walk away. You know, and
Hmm.
so and this is the problem too. You know, I mean, because we hopefully I can be the guide for some other girl that's considering it. Because I've had girls that I know I'm not going to mention have inboxed me about and they've thought about detransitioning
Hmm.
because but they just girls
Really?
like us we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to stay pretty, want to be beauty, want to
Yeah.
be beauty queens forever. You
Yeah, it's like an
can't.
anomaly. Yeah, it's an
You
anomaly.
can't be a beauty queen forever. You can't.
Okay.
You can't.
Yeah.
And you definitely can't live
It's
off
really
of it.
interesting because it's really interesting though, Terry, that you bring up so many different things that are just ringing bells because and I don't want to bring up his name, but there was another prominent entertainer that has detransitioned, and
Uh,
and he talks about how because he got that person, that stage person that they loved and remembered, he says that they treat him so differently now, and a lot of times it's not favorably because he's
Hmm.
not this star that they fell in love with. but he's happier where he is. But he said that it's been a hard journey for the gay community to respect the choice that he made to detransition. And why can't you
Well,
just want somebody to be happy if that's what they feel was the best decision they need to make in their life?
well, then when I had told, this is like the first week or so into it, and I was at that brunch thing with the lady deception. I told her that I was detransitioning, and she said, "Oh, you gonna pull a Kenya Black? That's because they wanted to make it seem like she was lost her mind when she detransitioned and turned to River Brahim or whatever. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that was a joke. And everybody did. You know what I mean? They tried to make it seem like she was crazy. And so when Deception said that, I said no. I said she detransitioned for her reasons. I'm detransitioning for mine. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm.
transitioned once for them. I said, "Why would you even do all that shit to yourself?" And then I said, "I transitioned once for happiness. I'll transition again, and I'll keep transitioning
Yeah,
until I get happy."
Mm.
And
that is
now I am
so
free.
deep.
Yeah,
That's
I
deep.
love that. I love that.
Me
So,
you know,
too.
so,
I will
so, so,
keep
would you
changing.
go
I
as?
don't care.
That's what I wanted
I
to
have to
ask
deal with
you.
that. I have, what I have to say. This is, in the words of Tommy Ross, this is my house. I live here. And I'm talking about my
Yes.
body. I
Yes.
gotta walk around in this motherfucker. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
else.
Mm-hmm.
This face, I gotta give it to the world. Nobody else. You know what I mean? So I have to deal with whatever this is.
Right.
So that I mean, it's. I just don't think that and I do try to talk about the struggles of it too because it's just
Yeah.
not easy. You just don't
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
instant man.
Yeah.
You don't. You know what I mean? I don't even know how I even talk. I don't even know how I sound.
Yeah.
When I'm on
Mm-hmm.
the phone, I still get mail and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know what this is going to look like. Hopefully, I'll turn into some like older gay man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what this looks like. I mean, so I did buy some very smart, sharp shirts and stuff. And these pants he wanted $300 for, but I looked them up online. They're only 110 online. So
Okay.
I mean, but I found my size, and I'm gonna go ahead and pay for one of those like really nice, expensive custom suits,
Oh,
so
nice.
just so I can see,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
what it's like.
So, would you go as far to say that you've fallen in love with yourself again? Not that you didn't
I,
love yourself before, but do you feel
right?
that, hey, I've fallen in love with myself all over again?
Yes,
Mm.
yes, yep.
That's awesome.
That
I
is
mean,
a
we can learn
beautiful
a
thing.
lot of lessons from you because I mean, I love the analogy that you said, this is my house. And it just
Yeah,
makes me think
I
about you
have to
should
walk
always
around in
want
this
to
place.
continue to renovate your house. You
Right,
should always be in a space of transition.
always. And
Yeah.
listen, if you are afraid to change, I mean, change is a part of life. And this is what I'm saying.
Hmm.
And I was looking at that, even old women turn into old men. Everybody turns into an old man when you get old. You just, you know what I mean? You just start to you just throw on a big old shirt, you just cut your hair, and you just let it go, right?
Yes, Dad.
Everybody turns into an
Yeah.
old man. You turn into you turn into a non-sexual thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just life, And so I I I don't know. I cut my hair off. I mean, like I said, I cut my teeth. I don't know what to do. They're still giving me mail, but so
Yeah.
I even thought like, should I in my new house in my new area? Should I go by Will? You know what I mean? Because
Mm.
Terry is unisex.
Yeah.
Will is at least says more male presenting, but
Yeah.
Mm.
you know what I mean.
Wow. Oh,
I mean,
wow.
Wow.
I don't know. How do you feel about being male presenting? You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah.
That's what you know. So
Yeah.
if you just instant change right now,
Yeah.
that's why I
Yeah.
said that's what it's trans girls. When we start off, so say you're 26 years old, you have to learn crash course in everything that girls know instantly. And that's why trans
Mm.
girls take so long, because you're catching up to all the shit that girls know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just to be a girl.
And see, now it's opposite. You catching up with the male anatomy of it all, the male
Correct.
makeup of it all. Wow.
Right.
Wow. You know what?
Right.
Your
Oh
story is
wow.
so interesting. I'm so glad to be able to talk to you because I saw, like you said, we saw a couple of girls who had mentioned the detransition, but they never went through all the way through with it. You had things removed and everything. So, um,
Right. Right.
thank you so much for this candid conversation. You've been
No,
so
thank you guys for
honest.
having me.
You've
And
been
thanks for giving me a platform to say
so
something.
open, and I know a lot of people probably going to hit you up to talk to you about certain things. Leave us with something. Leave us with a great quote or something you live by to go through your day-to-day life.
Like I said, this is my house. I live here. I
Hmm.
transitioned once for happiness. I will keep transitioning for happiness.
Oh
Wow,
my
I
Okay.
love
God.
that.
I will not be afraid to change. I
I
won't.
love that.
Thank
I
you
love that, Terry.
so much.
Terry,
No, thank you guys.
This has been
Terry.
amazing.
I am going back to even watch this some more just because I want to make sure because I'm in the conversation now. I want to make sure I hear everything. Thank you so much
No, thank you
for
guys for
coming to tell
having
your
me.
story.
I appreciate you guys so
We
much.
got it.
Thank
We
you for giving me a
anytime you want to
chance.
come over here on Beyond the
Please,
Filter
I
and talk
will.
to
I
us,
will.
we would love to talk to you.
And if anybody, feel free to, if you want to ask, because I've had people talk and sending me messages about detransitioning and how it felt and stuff like that. I mean, I know even if the girls have had a sex change, they don't
Hmm.
have to live. Some of them are in misery
Hmm.
they don't want to come out the house. You know,
Mm.
what I mean, they gotta get the freedom. It's the freedom that I don't know. It's hard to come
Yeah.
by, but I
Wow.
got it. Thank you.
Wow.
No,
Thank you
thank
so much.
you. Thank
I
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I gotta get my ass to work. But I do have a
Okay.
beautiful house, and I do have like I said, this is my house, and I
And
live.
I, it's my
You
And
live
house,
in the words of
and
Tony
I
Ross, just
and
live
live
here.
here.
live
Okay.
here.
It's
Look,
my
I got to
house,
walk around
and
this
I
motherfucker.
live here.
Okay.
And you get to set it up and renovate it the way you like to.
I do.
Like you
I
said, I
do.
like what
Absolutely.
you said though. We get this, we get this one chance at life. And they said if you do it well, they said if you do it well, once it's enough. So
Right.
kudos to you for living out your truth. You went through a phase of who you wanted to be. Then, like you said, you transitioned for another type of happiness. That's a brave thing within itself. I pray that it all works out for you. I pray that you get to feel 100% whole in what you're doing and walking in your journey. You know,
Thank you.
um, so proud of what you're doing. Congratulations on your house.
Thank
People
you.
don't know how huge it is to even obtain a house. That's a
I
huge
know.
feat. You got to have
It
your
is.
credit right. You got to been to
You
work
do.
2 years somewhere,
You do.
and when they go in underwriting, they go through your whole life
Oh my
to
God,
make
the
sure you
underwriters.
you know what I'm
I said,
saying.
who are
So
these mythical underwriters?
I'm
Who,
telling
who,
you, they come through
who
your
are
whole life. So congratulations on
they
all
do?
that. Thank you for
Thank
stopping
you.
by and talk to me and Dominique on
Thank y'all. Thank
Beyond the
you. Thank
Filter.
you,
Thank
Thank you
Roxy,
so
for
much.
you.
thank you everybody for who commented and said something. Thank Roxy and Shabille, y'all. I love y'all. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Bye
Take
bye.
care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye. That was fun. And
That
it was
was a lot.
informative.
It was
It was
very important.
amazing.
Yeah. Dominique, that
And,
was good.
that was really good. And, in a nutshell, once again, we
She didn't
said
hold
this
anything
before.
back.
No, she did not hold anything back. But, but what I also got is that right, wrong, indifferent, whether you like what she say, whether you don't like what she say, if you like what she do, if you don't like what she do, this is her life.
This is
And
her
hey,
line.
mistakes made
Uh-huh.
or not. And,
And
and
she
I
like
mean,
she say,
and we all,
and we all what? Go ahead.
no, go ahead. I mean, we all have a
No,
right to live our lives as we live them, and we're going to
mm,
make mistakes. We're going to say some things that are wrong. We're going to say some things that are right.
mm-hmm.
But you only have one author of that, and and that's yourself. So
Yes.
I
And this
enjoyed
is
it,
my house and I live
and I
here.
live.
We all need to adapt that in some type of way. This is my house. I live here. I may not be right all the time. I'm gonna make some
Mhm,
mistakes. You know what I'm saying? But if I keep on renovating in this house and getting it
mhm,
together, some point you do make a beautiful building. You know what I'm saying? A beautiful
mhm,
home. you know what I'm saying, within yourself and within, and within your surroundings. And life is a journey. It's not a destination.
It
We are
is.
constantly evolving as we go along. And I really, really do appreciate this. I appreciate all y'all for tuning in and watching the
Oh
show.
my God, definitely.
Thank you, Amelia Black. Amelia said this was one hell of an
Yes, thank
interview.
you, Amelia. Thank you,
Shannon
Shannon. Thank
Dupree.
you,
Thank you,
Tyler.
Tyler
Tony,
Jones, Jay Quinn,
Corey, Chevelle was in here. I mean,
Chevelle,
so
our homegirl. She in here,
thank
talking with
y'all
us and
for
stuff.
supporting us. And
Keontae, thank y'all.
and even in the disagreements that were in the comments, people were just defending her right to be and her
Yeah,
right to say whatever it is. We can't. I think we go through life trying to censor people
yeah.
and trying to tell people what they should be doing and what they should be saying and all of that stuff. And
Well,
while
this their
yes,
house.
you can have your opinion, but you can't control nobody. And if you don't like it,
Nobody.
you have the option to disengage yourself,
Yes,
or
yes.
or if you don't like the things I post about, unfriend me so you don't have to read it, or
Hmm.
whatever the case may be. Just realize, especially when you're dealing with adults, you
Hmm.
can't control people. And
Yeah.
stop trying to do that, and stop trying to paint narratives of people. Why don't if you really have questions about things that people say or do,
Hmm.
ask that person,
That's it.
because they
Hey,
can,
Miss M
because nobody
Bug,
can
Miss
tell. Oh,
Miss
go ahead,
MBU
babe. I'm sorry.
Grant. No, I was speaking to
Hey,
Miss MBU Grant.
Ava
Hey,
Chanel. Oh, I hope that when she do her give up, because when I come to your give up, because I could not be there the night of your wedding, please do Fergalicious and do a death drop like you did at that
go
start
ahead.
of the Simply
No, it's her
show.
night to give it up. She ain't gonna be down there doing all that now. Hey, Natiana Santangelo, Devin Star, Pico, my homegirl from
Hi,
Memphis. Hi,
Brooks.
Anaya. But listen, we're gonna get off of here. We've been on here 3 hours, girl, and I didn't know how long the conversation was gonna go, or how much we was gonna
Hey,
talk about.
guess
How
what? It was
because
worth the it
it
was
was
worth the
worth.
hour I missed.
Listen,
It was worth it. It
listen.
was worth it. And I think that, as I keep running my mouth, you trying to dismiss us, and I keep running my mouth.
That's
But
okay. Go
I
ahead.
think, but I think that once again, people got something out of it. And when you're
Yes.
doing something of substance, and when you're doing something with messages and having real conversations, right?
Hmm.
It's what, however much time it took, it was worth
Yes.
every minute that we were here. So
And listen, I could have talked to her about 4 or 5 hours, but I know people got to go to sleep. I got to go to sleep.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, but listen, I love you, Dominique. Thank you for doing this with me. Um, thank y'all for watching again. We can catch us on
Thank you
Thursdays
for
uh,
watching.
for Beyond the Filter. We just getting this started. This has just come from an idea of just, hey, let's push the record button and go. We want to talk to interesting people and get behind the scenes of things, because people sometimes walk around with a filter and a facade, and we really just want to know
Hmm.
that you know there's real people out here too who's going through real
Hmm.
things. So yeah, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Catch us on Wednesdays on Our Point of View with Chevelle Brooks, Giselle Lord, Dominique Sanchez, Neil, and myself.
Neil Dupree.
We have a great time. I'm not gonna do as much as I did last week. I mean, this week, yo.
Chevelle, he said he ain't gonna do that no more.
I
And
ain't
if
gonna do
you're
that.
still on here,
Oh,
we talked earlier today,
do
and I
what?
had to I had to tell my
Thank you,
baby daddy,
Sebastian. We'll see you next
don't do
Wednesday,
that no
Sebastian.
more.
Thank you, Chris Harden Parker. Uh,
We do have our
thank you all.
Facebook page coming up really soon, and then we will be getting our YouTube channel. We're just still working things out, but hey,
Mhm.
we're building the plane as we're flying it. So y'all just stay buckled up and be on this journey with us.
All right. See y'all later. Love you for free. Bye bye,
I
y'all.
love you too. Bye.